Hello.
Hello.
Today Yama is not going to be joining us because she's currently off to Japan. I think she's in Singapore now.
No, I think she's there now.
Oh, she's in
Like-
Japan.
Yeah, I think she arrived 2 hours ago.
Oh, okay. Well, she's in Japan representing South Africa in the World Cosplay Summit, which is pretty freaking cool. And you guys should definitely have a check and look at that. Because I think they have a whole schedule where they do live streams and stuffs. I'll post it on tweeters. Yeah. We can do the real quick who we are, what are we playing thing. Starting with Game Mummy, because I can.
Hi. My name is Steve. I'm also known as the Game Mommy. I am the GM, so I'm like all of the people and everything. So yeah, it's weird to start with me, but okay.
I know,
Continue.
but it was fun. I did it with Tana, and they were like, "Hi, I'm the GM. I play everybody else." Okay, done.
Yeah, I play all the people.
yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Sammy?
Yeah. What?
You want to say who you are and who you playing?
Oh, yeah, I'm Sammy. What's his name? Fucking Durable. Eladrin Bard. He exists.
I
But
don't
he's a
know.
plant.
I love that my brain just kind of like finished that with Yama's voice in my head. I was like, that's Sammy plays a pop lad.
The coffee will kick in eventually, I swear.
Oh, shame. I'm sorry.
It's fine, I've
Reia?
just drunk a pint of coffee. So.
A pint?
Oh.
Don't
You're
It's a
going
smile.
reasonable
Damn.
amount.
Why are you smiling so proudly?
Is a
Because I
pint
drink
not a
like six
reasonable
pints
amount?
of 6 pints of
Yeah,
coffee a day.
Yeah, like
What?
Literally.
I'm drinking
Whoa.
a liter of
This
diet
is like
soda
the
as
size
we're
of the
speaking.
mugs for tea
yeah.
and coffee I drink.
Mhm.
Holy, that thing is
Damn.
bigger than your face, Emmy.
You should see my water bottle. This was like
What?
this is like 3 liters.
Granted, I don't have like a size reference for that.
It's
I do drink a decent amount of water.
This is his face. This was the water bottle. Did you
I know, but I don't know how big his face is. Like,
You might have a very tall face.
That does look
Just
like a
an
small
extremely
face.
tall, tall, just a
The-
giant. No, it's a normal water bottle. I'm sure. I'm from the U.S. though, so normal is a sliding scale.
very true. We
was-
don't have standard sizes.
It's like that's 16. That's a small pint. That's a small, right? That's a small coffee.
It's funny that they do everything big until it becomes to booze, and then they can't handle it at all, and they do
And
like
then,
the.
then it's like, oh no.
Oh
Mhm,
no.
mhm. And they can't hold
Like
that
if you
shit.
like you to get taught here, if you fill someone a glass of wine, you do it to the rim, like not that whole like
Oh
The
yes.
whole like half bullshit.
wine. No, thank
that-
you. If that is poured into my glass,
Glorious.
I will be going up to the bar and complaining.
No, you should. You absolutely should. A glass of wine should be filled to nearly the top.
I'll take the whole
Just a
bottle,
little
thank
bit so
you.
it doesn't spill.
Yeah.
Just serve it by the
Ooh, I mean
that's why we
love.
we do bottle at table so often.
On
for one.
tap, I'll just take the whole bottle. Okay.
Can you give
We'll
me a
each take
box
a
of
bottle.
Franzia? Just a box of Franzia wine. There you go. It's a good old
Lord.
box.
I am
Box wine, baby.
the first time I saw box wine, my brain was so confused.
I think it's just
That
efficient.
was mine.
Good lord.
I don't get the full like drunk experience though from a box.
Especially
just
wine
doesn't- it
drunk.
doesn't-
Wine drunk is different.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
doesn't hit
it's-
right when it comes from a box.
Sometimes I
Wine
just want to
drunk.
feel rich when I'm drinking.
That's
and,
true.
You know.
Where am
I need to be aesthetically drunk.
I need to be.
Yes.
Thank
No,
you.
that is the thing. I am the type.
Aesthetically
You don't get that. I am someone who brunches. I am the mimosas.
Oh, I would
I am
brunch
the champagne.
so hard. I love.
We would go. We would go. There's this brunch place near me. Oh my god, it's so good. We should brunch.
Love brunch. Absolutely.
I feel
Love
wrong at I feel bad at a brunch because I'm not like I love a good brunch. I love a good brunch, but that's because I love an excuse to eat a meal between breakfast and lunch and just have a huge breakfast and a huge lunch on the side. I just want more food. I'm not there for the like brunch experience. I'm like, oh, You gave me an excuse to eat 2 omelets today. Excellent. And you know, no one's the wiser because it's not like you get breakfast and then brunch with the same group of people. So
Wait,
I love
you don't
brunch.
have breakfast then brunch. You just have brunch. A substitute for everything else.
If you're a meter, or if you're 2 meters tall and whatever 350 pounds is in kilos, you can have breakfast and brunch at the same on the same day, and a lunch.
I just love, like, because I'm listening to you speak, but I'm watching Sammy's face get more and more like, no, this is not right.
Yeah, I am
That's
able to
just
do
my
all
face
3 of those
constantly.
things.
Oh.
Sammy has resting judgment face, which makes sense. You're from the
No, I do. I have got in trouble. People
It's
threaten me on
chronic.
a night out. No, people threaten me when I'm out drinking because people were like, "Why are you staring at me like that?" And it's just because I'm staring off into space. But that is just my face.
Oh,
Middle
that's
distance
being
stare.
zooted.
I have resting judgment face. Love that. Reia, I realized in the middle of instructions. Who are you playing, buddy?
I'm playing a very tall Huaman shifter
Huaman.
lion named Fang with very little energy. It's like
no.
she's small bean and I'm so glad she speaks very little words because that is the extent my sickness will let me.
Oh no.
It's your body getting into character. It's your body getting into character.
It truly is. And on top of it being like 9 o'clock in the morning and 1:30 in the morning for me.
We appreciate your sacrifice being here with us.
It is a
today.
joy. It is always a joy and a pleasure. Although you can't see my active judging face.
Active.
And yeah, I'm Jack. I play.
Who are you?
Nhudrel.
Yeah.
I play a tall, blue, very stressed out man.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think that's really about it. Game mommy, you want to go?
Yeah.
Father.
What?
Hard being a father.
It's hard being a dad.
He's not even an actual dad. He's just. I love just turning around and Sammy has literally disappeared into the ether.
Yeah.
It gives me, whenever you turn, I don't know if it's to your right or to your left, but it seems to like forget where your face is, and then you just disappear into the ether. And it makes
that's for the best.
It makes so much sense for who you play.
Yeah, it is. It does feel. It does feel method. Vamp for about 30 more seconds, please.
What?
Vamp. It means fill time.
There you are. For you, Jack, look at the chat with my best friend here. This is like, I've just searched the word brunch into our chat log.
Oh god, okay. Wait, what's happening?
I'm gonna want a brunch so bad if there's pictures. I'm gonna be very upset.
There's not, but this is just the vibe of how important brunch is.
Move and we can brunch and find your husband. 2 p.m. we shall brunch. I'm too hunger to even think about brunch. Bitches who brunch. Did someone say brunch? Brunch is a boot. This is great.
I don't have friends here that brunch.
Is this like a cultural thing? Like brunch.
Brunch is a vibey meal.
It is. And usually brunch, if you're going for a good one, it's bottomless. So you'll get bottomless champagne or mimosas at the brunch. So then you can just...
This is what happens to me. I brunch because I didn't wake up early enough to eat breakfast. Like it's
which
not
is also valid.
Yeah, but that's just like a late breakfast. Brunch is a vibe. That's it. Like brunch is like there's a difference between like in England you got a full English breakfast, which is a brunch, but you wouldn't call that a brunch because that's not brunching. So like, but if you're going for like a fancy meal and you've got like the mimosas and you've got like an eggs Benedict or something a bit artisanal, that's a brunch.
Yep.
And you're going to be wasted by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you do nothing the rest of the day. That's brunch.
A proper brunch definitely goes from like 11 in the morning to like 2. 1, 2. It's a good 2-3 hour sit down.
And then you have a nap, and then you go out drinking that night.
Yes, you do.
Wow.
all the previous night's tea is spilled.
All the previous nights.
Yeah, and
And
there
then
must be discussions
night
that
more
include
tea is
impersonal.
spilled.
Yep.
Yep.
mhm.
And because it's mimosas and stuff, you become an absolute fucking hot mess because it is.
Champagne drunk is another kind of its own drunk.
I mean, me and Grace can't be trusted. We have broken priceless statues together, literally.
Ooh.
Oh no.
I and this will only be applicable to me. I, as a brunch person, really realized that like my brunch energy and my vacationing in like in my like Las Vegas energy, where I'm just allowed to drink whenever and as much as I want at any given time, and time has no meaning anymore. But those are the same energy. It's just brunch energy is like, yeah, you get drunk and then you nap and then you kind of rally up for the evening's events. And with Las Vegas, the negative is that you take that brunch energy and you just extend it the whole fucking time that you're in the city. Or in my case, I'm just like wrecked. There's been times where I've literally come off the plane in Vegas drunk and then not been sober until I was coming off of the plane back home in Seattle. Where I've
You
just been like,
remembered to blink and you were back in reality.
yeah, there have been trips, those 3-4 day trips. Those will do it, where I've never quite gotten to sobriety because I don't have to drive and I'm there to be reckless with my money and choices. Yeah, that's the play. But yeah, I have sort of the same energy once we're about an hour into a proper brunch of just like, I'm down for anything.
See, like here we've got like multiple kinds of drinking. You got brunch, which is one, and then you've got out, and then you've got out, and then you got pub, then you got spoons, and those are the main forms.
I don't know spoons.
So you might go for cheeky spoons, and that's all the context I'm going to give you.
I'm so confused. Cheeky spoons.
Like you literally, if you go to an English person, you literally can look at them and just go spoons, spoons, and then you'll go spoons.
What does?
That's a mystery. That's a mystery for us to research. Because like out, all the other ones out, pub, out, all of those you can kind of imply from the context of the shared language.
The rest I can understand vaguely as someone who doesn't drink, but like spoons, go out for a cheeky spoon. Spoons.
I don't like spoons. Not my thing.
Is it like not as intensive as any of the other drinkies, or?
It depends. Usually it's prees.
Usually it's freeze.
Freeze. Free drinks.
Oh, so you guys go for like a place that has like specials or something.
Oh, I get it.
Kind
I got it.
Yeah?
Do you got it?
Am I correct?
I think I understand.
Kind of, yeah. It's basically like a really cheap.
Stream.
It's basically like a really shit and cheap franchise of like pubs, but like there'll be like one in like every city or like 2 or 3, and they're all called Weatherspoons, but we call them spoons. But like you literally don't even talk to the bartenders. You literally go in, scan your table code, and you just order drinks to your table. But people will put like on their Snapchat or their face, or like I don't know what else people use. And they'll be like, "Hey, I'm here at this table," and they'll just put it on their Snapchat story, and people buy them drinks from their Snapchat story because they want to see their friend get. It's so cheap. It's so cheap. You can get like a pint of a cocktail for like £2.
Oh, that's so cheap. That's so we don't have a I don't think we have a language
Reia,
comparison.
you would love this. Reia, you can get like a porn star martini in a pitcher for like £6. In a pitcher, like a pitcher
proper
with
pitcher,
the jug.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just drink from it.
I don't think you understand the fact that it's not so much that you can get things in a pitcher that has like messed with me a little, was the thing that it's called a porn star.
Yeah, that's like a really common cocktail, like a Sex on the Beach. These are all really common cocktails.
Yeah, porn star, Sex on the Beach.
Okay, I've heard of Sex on the Beach. I've not heard of porn star before. I've heard of Long Island. That's a common one, right?
Yep, Long Island iced teas are common. No.
I usually go straight
Long
into
Island
tequila.
iced teas, no tea to be found in that beverage. Delicious. And also a deliberate like announcement of what kind of night you intend to have. When you drink a lot, you're like, I'm getting a Long Island. I am not gonna be good at the end of this night. I am going to be absolutely wrecked. This is.
Oh, I
I'm
want to
getting
be
my
drunk.
my
I want to
first
be
Long
drunk.
Island. That's what you say. I'm gonna order my first Long Island. It's over.
Sammy, you know what's going to happen is you're gonna come visit us. You and Yama are gonna get plastered, and I'll just make sure you guys get back to the hotel safe.
Yeah, no,
AKA
I am the worst because I'm that person as well. If I drink, I just go make friends, and then you'll lose me, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, Sam's in a different country,"
So-
and like literally, I was in Finland.
Yuri energy.
I know.
Yeah,
About
no,
to say, this is
I was in
Yuri.
Finland, and these people were like, "Oh my god, you're English. We love your accent." And I was like, "Thanks." And within like 10 minutes, I went to a different club with them and forgot my own friends, and they couldn't find me all night.
Oh.
And then they found me like
Oh.
in the streets in the morning, like, "I can't find my way home, and it's snowing. I'm cold."
Oh my god.
Well, you were in Finland. That makes sense.
White
Yeah, I don't think
disgusting.
in the U.S. In the U.S. I don't think we have a comparative spoons, but we do have a place called Applebee's that is like for that really, where it's
Yeah, no,
where it's
no, people
cheap
have told me
drinks
about
and half
that.
off. Yeah, half off appetizers, and it's a terrible chain. It's not like a bar; it's like a chain restaurant, but it always has a bar in it. And like there's nothing good there other than the fact that it's dirt cheap, and that during their happy hour time frames they have half off their apps, and they usually have a bunch of like a handful of deep discounts on specialty named drinks that are gonna be in the vein of like Sex on the Beach and stuff like that. And
It gives Chili's vibes.
yeah, and all of it, but yeah, I don't think we don't have a fun overall category for the idea of going to a place where it's like, listen, we're just going here, and this isn't the same as going to a pub or bar or a watering hole. If you're in certain regions of this country, we're going here to get wrecked on bad booze that will leave our stomachs destroyed in the morning, because we have drank too many mixers into those booze.
There's still Applebee's in the USA, apparently.
Yeah, there's tons of Applebee's in the U.S. Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
There's only one here, but I've never been to it.
Yeah,
You've never been to
one
an
day-
Applebee's?
good. There's
Do you
nothing
guys
there
have
for
them
you.
there?
It's like,
What?
does Hawaii have that?
I have
What,
like
Applebee's?
one on the west side, I think.
Applebee's?
That's a bit like us with Taco Bell. We've got like 10 Taco Bells in England.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would
I don't like
sooner.
it. It's really shit. It's shit quality.
Yeah, no, it's trash. But I would
yeah.
sooner send someone to Taco Bell than Applebee's 100% of the time, just to give you context on my
Sure.
feelings about Applebee's. Because Taco Bell is at least going for a thing. It's like, we're garbage food, like at a petrol, like you would get at a petrol
feeling
station.
like a trash panda.
Yeah.
Oh, we also
this
have
is-
Greg's. Greg.
I don't know what Greg's is.
Greg's is a bakery. It's a chain bakery that you can pretty much find in
You
any
guys-
village, anywhere.
You guys have like
A
this chain-
bakery?
Yeah, like in
Ooh.
every village, anywhere. Just go for a Greg's and you can get like sausage rolls, pastries, whatever you want. Greg's.
Amazing.
Don't you guys have like
Amazing.
this?
Amazing.
I thought you guys have like this place in America that is like a breakfast chain or something.
Denny's?
IHOPs?
IHOPs. IHOPs.
Yeah, International House
was-
of Pancakes. Yeah.
I went to Florida and didn't matter. No matter where I went, there was an IHOP just around the fucking corner. I was like, why are
Especially
you
in
guys
Florida. Yeah.
everywhere? I was like, what is this thing?
Because the
Well,
only
I'm
true
fab.
one of the few true American food like designs is breakfast food, like our version of breakfast food, right? Like the way that Americans do breakfast food is very, very, very American, and so breakfast places do that. I don't know why International House of Pancakes is as popular as it is. IHOPs are fine; they're okay.
They're mid.
But yeah, they're extremely mid. They're great if you're drunk at like 3 a.m. They're amazing for that
Oh,
if
yeah.
they're open.
They're good for that.
Oh, we just
But,
go
like-
kebab. Get a kebab if
Yeah.
Kebab?
Depending on the
Kebab.
city you're in,
Mm.
yeah, kebab.
Doner kebab, always. Doner kebab, garlic
Wait,
mayo.
okay, sorry. Where is Greg's? Is Greg's American?
No.
Greg's
Ew,
is UK.
no.
Is UK?
We
Daddy,
don't
are you?
have that level of American bakery chain.
Americans do
Our
not
version
know
of
good
that is
pastry.
Dunkin's Donuts. Yeah, no, all of Americans. Well, again, the group of indigenous people made excellent starched foods. Those people did not influence the food here. So Americans, our version of chain bakeries is like Dunkin's Donuts. So like we do donuts. That's what we do.
No.
If you deep fry it, we can do it.
Us in Hawaii, we are such sluts for Krispy Kreme donuts. It's
Krispy
so
Kreme as
bad.
well. Yep. Krispy
Okay, yeah,
Kremes.
no, I will fuck with those too.
Krispy Kreme is
Oh my
genuine.
God.
It's especially good if you're like you get it like fresh, like from the like it's had like an hour at max, but like usually 15 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, but one
of
has
time.
like enough calories in for like 2 years. It's like
Oh, yeah,
one, and I'm like,
absolutely,
shit, I need
absolutely.
to go for a run.
I have an
Why
in
is it
character.
so light?
I have an in character question to ask you guys though.
Yeah.
What is your character's
In-character.
favorite food?
Meat. Until she
So not that
discovers,
far
like,
off of
pastries, then
kebab.
pastries.
I'm gonna say Yuri's is his grandma's cooking. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Aw, that's cute.
I love that. I love that from you.
That's so cute.
Which is just a lot of baking and pastries and pies and shit.
Aw.
Oh
Okay,
yes,
Oh.
when Fang
you-
discovers pastries, it's over.
When you
That's all
said
she's gonna be eating for a
meat,
while.
when you said meat, my brain. What was that? What was that fucking Viking comic where they always roast massive boars?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love a
you know,
hog roast.
I want to a pig now.
No, there's a
Wanna kill a pig
comic.
so
There's a
bad.
We had a hog roast instead of
Should we start? I know
yeah.
this is a fun combo, but should we start?
Yeah.
I mean, we can. But we had a hog roast instead of a cake for our wedding, and it was the right choice.
Ooh.
So instead of everyone getting a piece of, we had pastries. We had individual small little pastries that people could pick from, and then because neither of us were a big fan of
Background.
classic wedding cakes, we're like hog roast.
All right.
Instead.
Obelix, that's the one. Asterix and the Vikings. Yes, that was the one I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Where they always
yep.
eat massive fucking boars. But yes, it has been half an hour where we've been talking about
About
brunch.
food and drinking and brunch and stuff.
And
So yeah, we should probably get into it. Hello and welcome to Healing Riffs, an actual play series here on Meister Hypster's Twitch channel. I am your game mommy, and we are one player down. But last time, after a sort of a mix of things occurred last time. There was a conversation with a Manister Falhund, who is a not quite alive person that seems to have some sort of advisory or administrative power here in the local town of Southgate. And was quite interested and called you all to have conversation. And everyone went, but Yuri was quickly distracted by invading the kind of mayor's residence and finding a bunch of papers and information and contracts in their locked office, and successfully absconding with those, transcribing them, copying them, posting them up around the city. If I remember correctly, illusioning themselves into like a town crier and different town citizens to call out these grievances and causing chaos in the town. Well, after stealing or after taking, stealing is a harsh word, mostly just like obtaining some jewelry for a little stuffed bunny.
No, we stole it.
I mean, you kept it, so but is it stealing once they know that you've taken it and they're just like, it's fine? It was stealing temporarily.
Is it murder if it was condoned afterwards?
I mean, it's war. Anyway, so depending on which side you're talking to.
That's fair.
But nonetheless, after the conversation with Manister, it was discovered that Manister 2 was interested in the mysterious kind of torn rift that had happened or that had happened over in the kingdom to the south, and so it was sort of agreed upon that if from Hicks, it was sort of agreed upon that that if you found information and wanted to come back to tell you would, but otherwise you were just going to go and investigate that, and then your group kind of sort of recombined, if you will, in the sort of chaos of the town. Well, the regular population, like the majority, the proletariat, if you will, were kind of up in arms about the mayor doing all of these backroom deals, and the even the wealthy, including Katangan, was trying to spin it in a little bit and was further exposed because Yuri was rolling pretty well on the last session, and so various guards and soldiers and stuff were being called in to address the conflict, and I believe that's where we left off. Right there in kind of the town center, if you will, in that little bit of chaos with Mayor Shemley and various city guard soldiers, as well as some of the Kingdom of Adrain standing military in the mix, trying to calm down a citizenry that has discovered that he has been embezzling, essentially, funds from the city and doing a bunch of backroom deals that were in more favor of those that were wealthier and such. And that is where we currently left off. You all are seeing this sort of growing boil of citizenry that's been locked in the city and can't go outside, that had a fair distraction in the form of a fair earlier, but now has this, and yourselves coming upon it, and all sort of having the intent of maybe getting the hell out of Dodge and going southward and getting out of this densely populated ongoing powder keg that's going to happen. So Yuri, what are you doing now that your machinations have really taken off, if you will?
I'm gonna walk off and just, I'm done. Like, I've done what I need to do. I'm just gonna start going to the gate and change into another random civilian and just see walking over and see what's happening on the gate. People can do their own thing.
Slipping into NPC 3.
Yep.
Slide into NPC 3.
Are you... What does NPC 3 look like?
It's the cabbage person that you violated.
I did not violate the cabbage person. I violated his cabbages, but I did not violate him.
He begs to differ.
Yeah,
I know. He begs to differ.
After the last time, it was not on purpose.
I am curious if the cabbages vendor is the most popular NPC across all tabletops everywhere, since he's such a gimme NPC to have from Avatar.
Okay, so we ended this...
what are Nhudrel and Fang doing?
Because I think we ended with the session with Nhudrel and Hicks and Fang together, right?
Yeah, you all three are together as you're kind of now seeing this sort of uprising and everything, that the pot has been stirred, and you've seen the stirring occur, and it is now not dissimilar, but in a much broader and much bigger portion than it was to what was happening at the eastern gate when you were first exiting the city to go get the farming supplies.
Yeah, because I remember you did say that it didn't take much for us to realize the very loud person was definitely Yuri.
Yeah, Fang was able to definitely tell that.
Would it be okay?
I think the instinct would be you all. Yeah.
Would it be okay for me to try and hunt down? Like, I see obviously Yuri sneaking off. Can I like sort of grab Fang and try find Yuri before they disappear, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I got eyes on you now, but you can change, so I might
Give me
lose you instantly.
give me a general perception check. On that.
Am I rolling stealth?
Yes, Yuri, you would be rolling stealth against that if you're looking not to be seen specifically by Nhudrel.
24.
It's gonna take a nat 20 probably on Nhudrel's
I mean, the
part.
effect is like he's hiding from everyone, so like it's
Yeah,
not like a
so
personal thing. It's just
it's not
he's trying to
personal,
be
but
unseen.
you're doing your job of being
Would-
unseen.
Can I argue that because I am actively looking for them, can I roll an investigation?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I'll
with a
let you do
general
that
perception,
for
even
you.
if I get a nat
I'll
20,
let
it
you
would
do
still
this.
be like 22.
Yeah, I'll let you do the investigate stat. Fang, do you want to give Nhudrel the help option to find Yuri?
In what way? Because honestly, she's still like emotionally overwhelmed and overjoyed that
No.
she's got Studio Ghibli tears and she's sniffling. So
No,
her sense of smell is shot.
Yeah, 13 for me, so like that's not. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you lose track. I'll roll for
Lahix.
for Heeks.
Heeks?
Where is their perception? Perception. How's their investigate?
What do you mean Dunkin' Donuts is just Dunkin'? Did they take away the donuts?
They call it. Well, no, they have donuts. They rebranded so that it's just Dunkin' because people also like their absolutely terrible fucking coffee. It is the worst coffee, and I don't know why it's. I blame the Northeast. They've gone. It doesn't really matter. Hicks is not going to. Certainly not with an 11. It's not going to.
No.
So you all briefly.
I'm curious now. Then
At least.
just want to know. Wait, what am I rolling
I wanna
to
know.
see if I can keep track of?
Perception or investigation, or you can actually, because you also are able to, we've canonized that you can use your smell for it, you could actually use nature or survival, and I'd be okay with that.
I think my favorite thing is during this game,
Sort of hunt, you can kind of hunt in a different way than Nhudrel or Hicks can.
Majority of our roles is, where the fuck is Yuri?
Well, that's just a 15.
Oof.
Yep. So yeah, you all kind of lose track of Yuri for a moment, but I think you all suspect Yuri's hand in this. Yeah. So Nhudrel, Fang, what are you doing? Hicks is absolutely, or Fang, you said that you're emotionally kind of overwhelmed at the moment, or in your feelings at least.
She's absolutely elated and moved to her Studio Ghibli tears. That she's kind of just this bumbling mess.
I'm gonna make an insight check. Okay.
Has the stream just gone bumfuck?
Yeah, I think something happened where all the Discord window disappeared, so none of our images are up. And so we're going to take a brief moment to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors, Getting Drunk in the Afternoon. We love getting drunk in the afternoon. Day drinking is one of the best things. It allows you to make choices about what's going to happen later with your evening. And as you get older, you'll find out that being able to consciously make the decision to sober up before you go to bed is really useful. 40-year-old gay mommy does not love morning heartburn from a night of drinking afterward. And so day drunk, can't recommend it enough. Go to brunch. Make an event out of it. Socially acceptable. We're gonna do this. Hey, there's Jack. Jack's back, and Jack will fix the stream.
Everything broke.
Why?
Not everything broke, but we disappeared off the stream.
I like the silent concern on the face.
The gesture. Y'all don't see it in the Twitch, but Jack's like, "What the fuck? Why is no one visible?"
I left for like a minute. What happened?
I don't know what happened. There
right
you go.
as you
No,
got
we're
off
back.
stream.
We're back.
Right as you got off stream, Discord's window just went away. But nonetheless,
so weird. What did I miss?
Okay, there we go. You missed nothing. We said that this was sponsored by Day Drinking. So no one can find Yuri. Hicks takes a look at the situation at hand. In previous conflicts, there's been a limited number of people, 5 or 6 guards, right? A couple dozen of the citizenry. This is escalating beyond where a group of 3 people can have a significant effect on the direction this is going. And so Hicks, without me trying to pretend like I could even come close to their voice, is just like we should go. And starts heading out in a direction. I am going to say that Hicks heads in a direction based off of a D4 roll. Give me a moment. Let's roll a quick D4.
Can I just say, like, Noodles is glad that he's been up to date with paying.
So Hicks heads easterly toward the eastern gate, familiar territory. They already know kind of the general operation of that, and Hicks starts walking off in that direction. Nhudrel?
Yes.
Do you follow? Do you do anything about this rising? You can see it's about to be a riot.
To be honest, they kind of dug their own grave there, with what they've done. So, yeah, Noodle's gonna follow Hicks and hear the pillars of his, basis of belief cracking as he does so. But yeah, no, he's gonna follow Hicks. Keep a look out for a Yuri. And take like Fang's hand. It's like the way you would, like, you don't want a child to get lost. just let me just hold on to you.
I was gonna say, like, if you forgot Fang, she would still stand there.
Oh, okay,
until
no.
she realizes she's alone, and then she would go to the inn.
Oh no, baby. No, Nhudrel would absolutely take Fang's hand. Yep. And like, yeah, definitely keep an eye out to see if he can see Yuri.
Yuri heading off and out of sight and everything like that, and heading at a distance. Is Yuri heading back to the eastern gate, or is Yuri just looking to get out of the city? Where's Yuri going? Where's Yuri's instinct going?
He's
getting
going
real
to
noisy and populous now.
He's going to the gate where it feels like it's most likely going to open up, like where the most pressure and, like a dam buckling and shit.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the east gate. I think it doesn't take long for you to notice that people are moving in from the east and the north a little bit more, and so that would be, you see soldiers running toward the city center, which means, or city guards, which means they're not in that direction. It appears to be the path. The path already known appears to be a pretty good semblance. I'd say Yuri, without them being specifically stealthy, they can't see you, but you are always it's very easy for you to look around briefly and reclock where the 8-foot tall Fang on the almost 8-foot tall Fang and the very tall blue silver-haired man are walking, and so you see the rest of the group sort of making their way easterly toward that gate as well. The gate itself is now what you would now consider to be undermanned. There are literally no guards up on the kind of like the portcullis-y, like, top of the wall. There's just the guards there's just the 2 guards at the gate on the interior, and that's it. And there's not like a population there, or anything like that. Nobody's trying to leave that gate. It seems like the center of town has become the moment, if you will, to be a dissatisfied citizen. And so I'm going to say, Yuri, you get to the location probably first by time. Do you do anything, or do you kind of hang out in one of the trees or in the shadows or kind of off to the side, or do you try to go up and go through? What's your play?
I think he'll just kind of sit in a tree nearby and watch. He's kind of waiting for the first opening.
Yeah, see if there's a advantageous time. I mean, Yuri has the ability to just go to the other side whenever Yuri wants.
That's true.
But you can definitely tuck into a tree, and especially since you see the rest of the group sort of coming this direction, somewhat off behind you, fully unawares that you're there. Is definitely there because you suspect that Hicks is not likely to wait for an opportunity to leave. Nhudrel, Fang, you three, and I'm going to play Hicks a little out of character here and have them backseat. You three all kind of approach this eastern gate as well, seeing these two city guards and no one else kind of stationed here. It's pretty empty in this area and everything. You know that Hicks wants to leave. Nhudrel, what's the play here?
There's only just like what, a couple of people there?
2 city guards.
Just 2 city guards. Okay. With my brilliant deception, I'm gonna go up to them and be like, they seem to be needing more help by the city center. I was told to come through here and let people here know. So
yeah, roll a deception check about that. Do it with advantage because you have Hicks sort of like flat staring at them silently, so they're giving you advantage by being gently intimidating.
That's an 11 advantage.
All right, I'm gonna have them roll kind of a commoner's insight check on that. They don't have a bonus to it, so it's just a die roll. Roll it off of Hicks's character. Well, that's a nat 1. So
good to know.
Fang doesn't know any better. Higgs, Yuri, that's the worst lie you've ever heard. Delivery of it is terrible. It's not convincing at all.
Neutral. Like he's never tried to lie in his life.
And more offensively, the city guards are like, well, all right then, we'll head in there. And then Hicks just nods and is like, we'll watch the gate for you while you're gone. And one of the guards is one of the ones from yesterday, and they're like, okay, and they just go off into the east gate. It is now a completely unattended gate on the inside.
Nhudrel's just gonna really quietly be like, I can't believe that worked. Like just
They really is just gonna encourage you, speak well.
Oh, he gonna hug her. Anyway,
Yeah,
do we
it's
know?
unattended.
Completely unattended?
On the inside, at least.
Right.
You know that there's usually guards on the outside as well. But...
Yep. Do you want to make a break for it? Going to assume there's people on the outside.
What are we breaking?
We run. We should probably run out.
I run well. Yes. She's just gonna start sprinting outside.
Jeez.
Run time to run.
All right, so
You just straight up.
I'm gonna need athletics checks from Nhudrel and
Oh my god.
Fang.
Hey. Good. So that was a nat 20 for a 24.
Very
Damn.
good. We love it.
I got a 15.
Do you know what it was? It's that parent gene where like, oh no, I need to like save my kid, or like my kids and I must do something before my child runs
He
off,
was
and suddenly they
prepared
get
for-
like they suddenly get super fast and their reflexes are super quick when it comes to someone they care about. That's what happened.
Prepared for her to spontaneously start sprinting.
It's like, oh no, my boy.
Yuri, you watch from the tree as Fang just like Fang launches forward with Nhudrel holding Fang's hand, and so Nhudrel manages to quickly react in this case. And they both just launch forward to push the doors open. Hicks doesn't quite sprint. It's just sort of power walks themselves kind of behind the other two. Flat expression. I imagine mental eye roll, but no visible eye roll, as they just sort of walk confidently forward. But you see them like push the gate doors open with a nat 20 from Nhudrel on athletics. When Fang kind of is the one who physically shoves the door open, you give it a little extra force, and it sort of pushes the couple guards out of the way. There's no one currently on the other side that's not a city guard, and there's only the couple city guards on the outside of the gates currently, because normally it's backed up by people up on the wall, but there's no one on the wall currently, and so they both get kind of shoved aside from the doorway as the three of you sort of spill out, two of you more aggressively so, and then Hicks just sort of deliberately walking behind. The three of you find yourself out, and the city guard are like immediately like, "Hey, you're not supposed to leave the gate. You're not supposed to leave Southgate," as they kind of stumble and kind of gather themselves from that. Do you respond to these outdoor city guards, or do you keep heading do you keep full on sprinting away?
Gonna sort of yell over his shoulder, "You have a bigger problem at the city center," and then just keep running.
Okay.
Fang like
Yuri,
hard stops. Panic in the town. She's
I want
excited for some reason.
I want a persuasion check from I want it from Fang.
Oh, good, because mine's a -1. I'm as charming as a rock.
We have another
Oh, nat 20.
Oh.
Nat 20. That I don't have a bonus for this.
And that 20 is perfect. They one of them stays outside to close the doors. One of them runs inside, seeing that the guard's unattended and can hear the noise coming from city, like the crowd noise in the distance coming from the city center. And so they run. Yuri, you see all this happen. It seems the rest of the group is outside, and the doors are kind of open and ajar as they're kind of yelling. Do you just hop on down and go through? Do you teleport? What do you do, Yuri?
Yeah, like I feel like in the most nonchalant way possible, I'm just gonna walk out.
Just walk out. Just walk out. In the confusion and in the complication, nobody stops you, Yuri. It just seems like you're allowed out of the city, like it was a normal thing. As the four of you are now outside of Southgate, out on the King's Road, of a drain, with the intent to go south. And toward our lovely, terrible, gray-black cloud storm that is swirling with lightning in it. The unnatural space that is. But yeah, toward the synod, and so with that, Hicks is pretty determined to just sort of head south in that direction. Head south in that direction. You can see there's still the long line of refugees, although again is clustered up more around Southgate, where there's more sort of essentially refugee tents and temporary things and stands and distribution. The soldiers from the Kingdom of Adrain are there doing refugee type care, organizing people. Wagons are coming in delivering like foodstuffs and stuff like that. People are doing that. It is beginning to look like the outside of Southgate is quickly swelling into a bigger population than the inside of Southgate. This isn't just like a handful of tents or anything. This is a massive now sort of tent and like gazebo and like quickly constructed sheltered outdoor city that has borne up. And it's fortunate that it's springtime, because if the weather were harsher, this would not do very well with any kind of like bad weather environments. But for now, it's just like a nice clear day with several light clouds in the sky above you, but pleasant as you see that. But the line still continues to the southern gate of Southgate, just continuous. And then down in the south, you can see the kind of border wall in the great distance between Southgate and the Octatic Synod, which is the sort of official border between these. That is, honestly quite a long travel. It's a pretty significantly high wall. So quite a ways away. But yeah, do you as a group, now that you're all back together, I assume you rejoin them once you're hundreds.
Once they're like far enough out, yeah.
Yeah, several.
He'll just
and so go on.
He'll just walk on over and kind of like, when they're far enough away from the crowd, just like lower the illusion, go, hi!
Nhudrel's gonna hug him.
Ah! Oh, hi. Why are we
Fang
hugging? What, did I win?
Fang is also going to hug him.
It's just like
What's happening?
And then she starts hard song and says, like, thank you.
What?
You speak so well. You show people how bad man is. Sobbing. And she's happy and she's just wiping away tears.
I mean, you're welcome. I really wanted to leave. And now we get to leave, and we don't have to come back because it's boring here and I hate it.
I'm just glad you're not hurt. Perhaps next time, let us know when you want to leave and we could just go.
He did.
I already said I wanted to leave.
Did you?
Yeah, like the other day. Or today. I don't know.
Yesterday, Yuri had said that they wanted to leave, and Hicks was like, no, I need to meet this person, and then we can leave.
At this time, and I have already told Jess I'll do this, Yuri would give Hicks, like you guys would see Yuri give Hicks so many documents, like everything. And it's just like, yeah, so I found out, like, my whole, like, leader wasn't really doing a good job at leading, so I did what we do at home, and we had them, we just, if you lie to your people, your lies get discovered, and then who knows what will happen.
It's gonna nod in agreement.
I will be honest, I do like that way of doing things. Seems very straightforward.
I mean, I don't, lying's bad. Well, no. I lie a lot, but I don't, but I do.
I think you mislead more than you lie.
Maybe. Or maybe I don't. But, like, the truth is boring.
Fang is confused.
But lies are bad. So it's bad to be truthful, but lies are boring. No, wait. No, the truth is boring, lies are bad. There we go. But yeah, anyway, can we, like, go to the rift now?
Just pat.
Hicks is like, yes, we should make our way to the rift.
Yay!
I like the
I'm
idea
gonna
that
jump in and see what happens.
I just like that Hicks was absolutely dead quiet the entire time all of this was going on, and honestly, that is so in character.
You have to let them talk themselves out. So, you all have options here. The section of a drain that kind of butts up against the Synod in the south here is a little bit hilly, but not like hard to traverse. It's just sort of rolling hills. It's a very, very, very bucolic. It's very pastoral. There's the main road, which the King's Road, which you can see it's less of a continuous flow and more of a trickle now. Of most people over the last couple days have like that are going to go north on this road have, and so it's not nearly as significant as it was like the morning after it happened, right? It is kind of late afternoon, early evening, so the sun's still in the sky, but you've got about an hour or two before sunset. Now that I remembered the kind of timelines of everything, you've got an hour or two before sunset, and you can go on the main road, or you can be off the main road, either closer to the mountains, which are called the Shattered Peaks, or closer to the Wounding Sea, which is sort of a saltwater-ish, like almost like a cave. It's not quite like the Mediterranean. It's not nearly so big, but in that kind of fashion, where it's like there's a big ocean and a poor, and then there's a large stab inward. So depending on where you are in the Wounding Sea, it's either saltier or clearer. But these two, so you can go. You can move on the main road, which will be the kind of most direct and fastest path there, or you can go by the mountains, or you can go by the sea. And by the sea, I mean it would still be on land, but it would be closer to the seaside.
We want to get there sooner rather than later, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't mind. Whatever's more like, fun. I just don't want to be stuck around like boring humans,
Fang, would you be comfortable taking the main road? Or would you prefer to...
As long as we travel together, I am.
Wait, I know how to solve this. Easy. And I'll look at them. So, growing up, did water in the sea make you happy?
Yes.
I do not know the sea.
Okay, well, it made one person happy. We're going that way. And then he's just going to start going that way.
Yeah, okay. So you start kind of traveling along. It does make sense to stay off the main road. Less questions, less potential. Reasonably and acceptably in the moment, very much panicked and very much looking for any kind of security that they could find. People that would probably interrupt you all the time and be like help us, essentially. And it's not that is an unreasonable thing to ask when the place you're from has essentially exploded, but not something that your group necessarily wants to deal with or has the facility to do anything significantly about. And so you make your way kind of down and toward south and toward the west in a sort of diagonal jag from Southgate toward the Wounding Sea. You know that off in this direction, though you don't pass by it directly, is the farm that you saved from catching all on fire and everything. And then you head out, and there's not like a forest grove or like a significant like thickness or density of woods, but there are plenty of trees kind of scattered about. Yuri, you would recognize this as unmanaged nature. This is untouched by things. It's not so much that no person has ever hunted here or come out this way to enjoy a picnic or just walk, but there's not civilization's paths through this way. It is just kind of tall grasses, or like I'll refer to it as shaggy grass, kind of overgrown grass, bushes, trees, and stuff like that, and it's all quite natural. And now I'm going to have the party. Please, someone in the party. Let's go with Nhudrel, since it was your instigation of answering that did this first. Please give me a D20 roll.
Oh, right. Sure. Mm-hmm.
And
Hey,
she
Mommy's
summons
got
a
a table.
kraken. He summons a kraken.
A quacken.
That's an 8. Is 8 quacken?
An 8.
Yep. His name's Steve.
Accurate. Just me comes out of the water. It's like, what's up, guys?
No, but you must do
That
it
would
like.
actually be quite terrifying.
You must.
Oh, sorry.
must
I still
do it like-
imagined it the size of a kraken, which is why it's like that would be actually
No,
terrifying.
you must do
It
it like
would
with the
be.
whole like the water pulling your waterlogged hair out of your face,
Yeah, just
coming out
like
of
a bloated merman, just like, what's up, guys? Holding a bag of like fast food in one hand and a 40 ounce in the other. So an 8. You travel for like an hour or two, but it does get a little bit late. It is getting dark. Nhudrel, you've been in Southgate and the area for past like 30 days. You and Fang, right? Past like month or so.
Mhm.
And then Higgs has been in a drain for long. You know that there's the normal dangers of traveling in an unpopulated area, but a drain is not a particular like. It's not like, oh no, it's a blood moon and everything gets evil, or anything like that. It's just traveling at night. However, while you're all traveling, traveling and day is turning to night, you begin noticing little bits and bobs of, for lack of a better term, animal parts. Like a small, like a rabbit skeleton here, an antler there, maybe like a partial corpse of a raccoon, there, just kind of on the path that you're going. These little parts have begun to pattern and collect up. They don't look like they've been chewed upon.
Thing is gonna investigate the bones.
Ditto.
Give me-
I'm very curious
give
to
me
see what these
nature
bones
checks.
are about.
Nature checks.
I shall nature you.
12.
Better than me. I rolled a 10. Bones are not my area of expertise.
Would this also count as like survival due to it being bones, which is like hunting and stuff?
You could do it as survival if you want. You could add whatever you roll to a survival modifier. For those that have already rolled, and feel free to roll that.
Oh, well, I did bad anyway. Oh, we all did bad. Okay.
We all did bad.
So what's the highest number, either nature or survival? Is it
That
still
would
12?
be 12 with Fang, I think.
13.
Oh, 13.
If I was
Fang,
restricted to survival.
Fang, you would know that, yeah, there's not like the marks of a predator animal. There's not like the chewing marks. And with a 13, I think you would know that, like, when you get to the raccoon, you can see that it has been not fully like dressed as a hunted animal, but it has been severed with a tool of some sort, like a knife or an axe or something like that. There's a pretty clear cut on it that isn't like smooth. It's not like surgical, but it's deliberate, and it's not by like tooth or claw. And I'm gonna say that with a 13, that's what you know, and you're beginning to see a pattern. Like, it's not so much that there's a very clear path of these are spread out enough, but it seems like you've happened across a kind of over 100 or over, meters and meters, just like um just like an implication of a trail or a hunting ground, if you will. But like I said, these aren't like dressed like humans would dress things, but they do have the marks of something deliberately took to these creatures.
Hmm.
And anyone, roll regardless, would notice that the things that were nearer to you when you first started on this path were longer dead. And as you progress, things seem less decomposed. That's something that any person would be able to see.
They just seem the corpses are fresher and fresher.
Yep.
Would I know what kind of creature or person would hunt like this?
I mean, you can roll about it. Pitch me a skill to roll about it, and I'll give you some information.
History?
Sure. Would you have read about this? Is
Yeah.
essentially what you're going. Yeah, give me a history check.
15.
If it was a hunter, they would have, used the animal in a more significant way. If it was a complete, like, if it was a hungry creature that was like eating them, especially as you get to the kind of slightly fresher corpses, you'd assume more of them would be gone. With a 15, I don't know if you know. There's still too many options. But you do know that lots of people need parts for things. Alchemists use them. Wizards use them. Taxidermists, if they like
And it's
taxidermy.
It's a very common animal. It's not like something would use it for like a part. Like roaches would.
Yeah, it's not like it's a phoenix feather or anything like that. These are all woodland creatures.
Seems like someone is hunting these for parts.
Is that bad?
What? What?
I just said, is it bad?
I don't
Like,
know.
Well,
Are the bodies more? I mean, like the decomposition, is it just like the meat is still on the bones kind of thing and only parts of them are missing, kind of?
Yep.
Yeah, what kind of parts are missing, bud?
You see you see like a squirrel that has its head removed. You see like little leg pieces missing, sometimes ribs, sometimes things, little different parts. Sometimes some of them have been like, it looks like they've been flayed and they've been skinned, but they haven't really been, like taken advantage of. You do see a couple organs missing here or there.
Is there any like repetition, like more than one missing a head, or is it always a different piece missing?
It's not always a different piece. You do see some repetition, especially if you do continue to kind of follow this thread and go look for more than a few mostly their bodies that you can kind of see what's absent a little bit easier. And you begin to also, Nhudrel, as you're kind of continuing in this direction, you begin to smell the air of the kind of inland sea lake that is created by the wounding sea. So you're getting closer and closer to the sea at this point.
I don't know. This doesn't sit right with me. It's a waste and disconcerting.
It's gonna keep investigating all the bones and the corpses on the side. Very strange choices of missing parts. Not for eating. I don't understand.
Yes.
Got an 18. Does that give me any more information?
I'm gonna keep rolling about it until I get something.
Yep. There's a lot of bodies here. I'm just gonna keep looking at every single one until something clicks.
You come upon a body as you kind of continue to slowly progress in this direction. You come upon a body where, like, whatever the animal version of a femur is it might still be called a femur, I don't know, but a femur is missing,
vet
and then you
says
start
yes.
seeing yeah, the vet says yes, and then you see like a badger, and like its paws have been taken entirely. I think with a 18, back in your youth, Fang, there was somebody that would use a lot of bones in your tribe, in their choices, in their decor, and in their rituals. I think, Fang, you would, maybe this could be someone that's collecting animal bones for spiritual or supernatural reasons, because it was your tribe. They weren't like an elder, they were an older person, but they're not like a revered. They're more like someone would refer to, like just a person with a learned job, like a doctor. And they were a seer.
Oh, a seer. Oh.
Mhm.
She turned to the rest.
Hmm?
You're like, familiar to me are our tribe seer gathered bones like this for their rituals, but we would collect other parts of the animal for other uses in the tribe. So maybe only one person, only a seer, is hunting.
Oh. Now what?
I don't know. Do you want to find this person? Perhaps I have more to add to the rift we're going to now.
Fresh
Does-
hunt means they're
Sounds kind of
collecting.
gross.
To ask a seer if they have information about the rift?
Yeah, but like, aren't you guys slightly worried that this is just going to be a necromancer who's stitching body parts together to make big monsters?
What?
I was slightly concerned, but it doesn't seem like they're taking different parts. So
Doesn't it?
no.
Or they're
Our
making
seer,
soup.
Or they're making
Our
soup.
our seer used them for rituals.
Did
Not
they make it for soup?
No,
Oh.
I would make soup.
Ooh.
You make the best soup.
Let's go make soup. We should go make soup.
None of the
I
make
corpses
good
are
soup.
none of the corpses are fresh enough for soup, right? Right?
Well, we can go find our own corpses.
I'd say the most recent one that you've come upon is probably, you could probably cook out any of the bacteria in it.
He holds up the fresh one. It's like, I can use this.
We're gonna have soup.
Apparently we're going to have badger soup. Great.
It is now nighttime. The stars are in the sky.
Oh.
You can see the. I'm basically, with the multiple rolls, I'm basically being like, okay, that's like another 15 minutes, half hour. That's another half hour kind of thing. So it is cresting into nighttime. The stars are in the sky. You can see the multiple moons and stuff like that.
I will set up a fire.
Yeah, and so you could choose to camp. It's also become pretty clear now that they're happening a little bit more frequently, and you've tracked more of it. It's pretty clear this is in a direction toward the sea, which is kind of the direction you were heading to go south. You could, in theory, just not go this way. You could just pivot and just go further south, straight forward, and walk away from this. Like, it's getting a little bit more common, and it's definitely something. But there's nothing there that requires you to go that way. There's the world is not meant. You could just turn and go in a different direction.
But I'm
And
curious,
so,
Steve.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, we
I
can't
know.
piss
I'm
you
just
out.
letting you
Where
all
would we
know.
go?
I put the Reese's pieces in a direction, but you could just like you could literally turn slightly, and instead of heading slightly west and south, you could just head straight south, and you'd probably leave this trail
But I'm
of
curious,
dead animals.
Steve.
I know. I'm just letting you know.
What was that?
So violent. It's so
Actual
violent.
shit was that?
Jack's voice modifier is viciously aggressive.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
right, okay.
I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Just
forgot you're
confirm
not
as
used
well,
to it.
Fang. Like you've got the what's it called? Feet, the chef feet, right? So you can make
Yes.
snacks for. It will be
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
It's dangerous. We got snacks.
I mean, that's all you need when there's
Yeah.
danger about.
Snacks.
Yeah. The
Listen, I
snacks that
have
give us like
Cheetos.
temp HP, I'm pretty sure, or something like
I
that.
believe they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe they have a mechanical benefit like that. But yeah, and so yeah, it's nighttime now. It's proper night. It would still be if you were in a city or if you were back in Southgate, it would not be like late at night, right? It would just be night now. So you'd still I wouldn't say any of you are like tired or exhausted from a long day so much as it's just been this. You can camp here. You can continue on. What do you do?
I'm going to help Fang prep food.
Are
And
we
snack.
short resting here
And
or
soup.
long resting here?
With long rest, it's night, so we
Yeah,
kind of do need
okay.
a long rest.
yeah.
I'm gonna use my chef feet and cook us up some food.
What does Chef Feet do mechanically? I mean, I can look
You
it
know-
up. Certainly.
Gain a bonus to either Constitution or Wisdom proficiency with cook utensils. Prepare food that allows creatures to regain additional hit points when taking a short rest, as well as gain temporary hit points after long rest. I don't
Okay.
know how much temporary hit points it gives, though. And I don't have a prompt for that.
Short rest. You can cook that. These specials last 8 hours. Creature can use this. Gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. And so you're at level 3, so I think it's just 2 temporary hit points right now.
Yeah,
So
and that will go up.
proficiency.
Hmm.
And
Temporary
it'll
hit
scale up
points.
as you yeah, 2 temporary hit points for everybody for tomorrow morning. Yeah, and
10?
2,
2.
just 2.
Not a master chef yet. We're getting there.
Nope.
Aw.
You'll get there, and it will scale with your level a little bit, and it's always
Okay.
nice. And it's a feat, which means that you could use it and then use it again and replace it on short rests, but that burns hit die. But nonetheless, yeah. So you all
Wait, what
just
do you mean
can't-
replace it on short rest?
meaning that like let's say you were at maximum. Wait, does the short rest chef feat have 10 hit points as well, or is it just bonus
No.
healing? Okay, then never
Well,
mind. I was
temp
thinking,
HP is only resets at long rest anyway, I think.
yeah, and
So you'll
and
just keep the temp HP.
well, I was thinking it did another version of temp HP on short
it
rest,
just
and
says-
so I was thinking it could refill it, but it adds to
just
hit die
the-
recovery. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I was thinking about the whole temp hit points don't stack; they replace, unless they specifically say that they stack. And so they replace. So if you already have temp hit points and more temp hit points come
Well,
along,
it's 1 hour work, which is usually kind of a short rest. So
Yep.
they should still do it during a short rest.
Yep, they absolutely.
But they
should.
wouldn't just get the thing. The rest
No,
of us
that's
would.
just bonus. You can prepare food, number of creatures 4 plus your proficiency. At the end of the short rest, any creature who eats the food spends 1 or more hit die to regain hit points, and they get an extra D8 of hit points. But that's actual hit points, not temp. So you're good. You all wake up in the morning with +2 temp hit points.
Wait,
and
are we allowed to do things at night still? Like,
yeah,
before
and so
we go
yeah,
into the
this
morning?
is yeah. I'm not jumping you to the morning. This is just discussing this mechanic. So it's nighttime. Nhudrel has built a fire. Has built a little fire. Fang is initially beginning to work on food. Yuri, what do you all want to do at night? You can all talk and everything. Again, it's not super late, so it's not like you're dead exhausted on your feet.
Yuri, given his affinity to nature, will kind of like do the whole like he'll basically point one direction, be like, look over there, and then run the opposite into the forest. And he's basically gonna just like not going too far, but now that it's very quiet and it's nighttime, he's just gonna listen out for animals, and he's just basically trying to listen out to see if he can hear a little bit of like if there's any animals that are like going, ah, I'm dying, I've been impaled, blah, 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 blah. He's scouting.
Yeah,
He's doing nighttime scouting.
Yeah,
for
nighttime
sure.
scouting. I'm here for it. Give me a well, like either a perception or a nature check. Those would all, yeah, those would fall under that. Yeah, perception or nature, either one, whatever's higher for you skill wise.
Well, okay, that's an 18.
Yeah, definitely. Yuri also only ever needs to trance, right? He doesn't actually need to sleep.
Yeah, I only need
right?
4 hours.
Yeah, and even in trancing, I'm pretty loose with long rests in the way of like when the party is like, we're gonna go to bed for the night. I'm like, okay, you're going to bed for the night unless I do something very dramatic to you. I'm not gonna interrupt your long rest mechanically. And everything. You can make choices to do that, but I'm not going to surprise you with it or trick you with it, like some GMs do, where they're like, "Oh, you decided to wander off this way. Your long rest is interrupted." But nonetheless, so that's what Yuri is doing. Doing like the scouting. Is that like your main focus? Like right as they get kind of set up, do you just like immediately go look over there and then run into nature, Yuri?
As long as it's dark enough, yeah, sure. As long as it's dark.
It's yeah, it's like night at this point. I would say to describe to Yuri, this is probably the prettiest you've seen the material plane so far. In Southgate, I don't know if you would have like hard known this, Yuri, about the light pollution. It's pretty minor in Southgate compared to like a big city, but it was distracting. It was, light sources distracting away because Southgate never goes completely dark. It has street lamps and torches and stuff that kind of keep it visible. And so it's obviously if you look off into the south and trees aren't obscuring your view, you can see the dark clouds and the like lightning flashes there. But everywhere that isn't covered in magical storm, bunch of stars, bunch of multiple celestial bodies moving to it. It's probably the prettiest you've seen the sky. Closest approximation of anything that you'd be comfortable with from home, or at least familiar with. Something that mortals can't easily obstruct at this stage in their development. And so, but with an 18, you're definitely hearing some stuff. You're definitely going to get a little bit of information. At first, it's just normal creature noises, normal night creatures. You can hear some owls waking up. There's we've got bats here, so there'd be bats there. You hear some bats, some stuff like that, but nothing too ominous or out of place. And it probably takes like a couple hours of you listening for it. You definitely sense, not strongly, but you definitely sense, again, off in the direction of the sea, you feel like a bird just getting like you can hear it. You can hear kind of like panicked calling. Like really off in the distance, very like far enough off that it'd be quite a ways, and then that panicked calling silences, and you can definitely kind of sense that it silences permanently.
Did you? Yes. How close? Like when you say it's coming from by the sea, do you mean it's really close to where the sea is at that point?
Yeah. You would estimate you could easily get there. Like it wouldn't take you long, a handful of minutes for you to moving with speed to close that distance. But like maybe like 10, in 10, 15 minutes at most to get there. But like, yeah, it was definitely like maybe almost in a partial like half trance, half awareness state. You were just more in tune with just the sounds and the sensory of the forest, and that's where
Okay.
you feel it coming from.
Given I'm undisguised at the moment, so I'm literally the color of the foliage,
Yeah.
I will stay in the trees, but I will go as close as I can to see what I can while staying within tree line. So I
All right.
want to not leave the foliage.
It takes a little bit of working on your part because the trees aren't very dense here, but you're easily able to accomplish that goal. In the night, you being the color of the foliage already, and being quite quiet, we're going to have you roll a stealth check here in a bit, but we're going to go back to Nhudrel and Fang as Yuri has disappeared into the woods and gone off on their own. Higgs is just sitting there, I imagine, reviewing the documents that Yuri gave them earlier by the firelight, saying nothing, a placid face, placid gaze, staring down at them.
Do you think one day Yuri would be comfortable to just communicate with us? Instead of feeling like he needs to trick us to do what he wants to do?
I kind of thinks about it. I don't think. Yuri function like different from way that you know how to talk, and I know how to talk. I don't know if the way Yuri does things is normal for Yuri. She's like trying to put together societal norms and express that maybe that's just the way he does things and that's normal to him. Versus she's had to learn civilization's ways of working, so she's pretty just open to adapting to whatever everybody else is doing within the group.
You have a point.
It's neutral, even your ways still confuses me. I understand. You teach very good. You teach me very good. But you are also still strange to me.
Oh. Sorry.
I will be right back in 60 seconds.
So while the GM is gone, we're going to set the world on fire. Yeah?
Sure. No, actually, I'm
No.
very flammable,
No.
please. Yeah.
I was gonna say Yuri's flammable.
Very
No, we're not setting the
flammable.
world on fire.
It's time to set the world on fire.
Also, I probably won't be able to have my, because I'm having to go pop in and out. Do you want to swap me and Fang's icons?
I was
'Cause we are-
thinking, I was like, I should probably try ask if, like, everyone's gonna be off. Because...
Yeah, I'm going to be off for the rest.
Okay.
I just have to, because I've got a wireless headset, and I'm having to literally just pop around the house and
You're all good.
put animals to sleep and stuff while I'm doing
How are
shit.
the kitties?
They are fat and sassy.
Oh,
They're fat. That's
perfect.
amazing.
As they should be.
Mm-hmm. I don't know
Adorable.
which picture I don't know if it was you who sent me or if it was Ash who sent me a picture of a kitty. And I have no idea who... Actually, I'm going to double check because I think it might have been Ash who sent it to me. And I'm just so in love with this kitty cat. Do they all have names now?
No, none of them do, because they're not going to be mine, so there's no real point naming them.
That's fair.
Have they already promised to people?
Ash is having 2 of them, and then the other 2 is unknown for now.
Yeah, it was Ash who sent me the picture. Freaking cute little fluffy thing. You also sent me the picture. Now that I'm looking at it, you sent me the picture of them opening their eyes.
Oh yeah, that was ages ago.
Yeah, well,
They're like full on walking around and just doing their own thing.
oh, I was very
Like,
excited when I saw them with their eyes open.
let me. This is how I talk, like a normal person.
I was saying,
Um,
are their
Do they
eyes
have zoomies
blue?
yet?
Question.
yeah, they have blue eyes.
Gorgeous.
Ooh.
I'm sending some videos, but because I'm doing that, it's actually going to probably kill my internet now that I think about it.
Oh
But you know,
no.
that's life.
Oh no. Steve's slow entry into the video is quite funny to me. Just ever so slowly entering into the screen. I love the way
All right.
he does not trust my face at all.
What's happening?
Nothing. We were
What did you do?
completely innocent and calm
Sure.
and
Sure.
chill the entire time we were
Absolutely.
gone.
Like actually though.
Yeah, we were. We were
Okay.
talking about Sammy's kitties.
I love that. I walked out to see all three of my pets sitting like very individually on spaces on a couple of the couches in my room, and it all looked like they were just like sitting very much arranged like people would be sitting on the couches in
There
the
you
living
go.
room, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? What
It's very
are you
much
doing?
the you must be wondering why we called you here today.
Yeah, it very much felt like that. I looked at them and I'm like, two of you don't even usually like chill on couches.
Oh,
That was sucking on his
babe.
paw.
Oh, look at the little kitty fights. Oh.
They're so fluffy.
Are they on a towel?
Yeah, it's laminate flooring, and they were like basically ice skating across it. So
They were
Oh.
ice skating across it.
they were just going wee, and then going into the wall, and I was getting so stressed. I was like, no, babies, we are going to stop this game right now. I know you are having fun, but my stress levels are rising.
My
Right,
stress
so-
levels are rising.
What's happening?
So we're back. You are when I left, we're having a nice little discussion about different people communicate differently. Um, Hicks was not offering any insight.
Mm-mm.
Uh, uh, and well, you kind of calmly sit there and begin to have your food. Back where Yuri is. Yuri, I'm going to need you to roll a stealth check for me, but do it with advantage because you are so very hidden as you approach the scene.
Okay, well that's a 1 and a 2, so I did really well there. Yeah, that's the thing.
I want to help you be a sneaky boy. I can't beat the dice. So you approach. You're at a good distance because you can see this because there's sort of like the sort of tree cover gets to be sparser and sparser as it approaches the body of water of the Wounding Sea. The Wounding Sea sort of has like a northern kind of beach aspect to it, so it's a lot more gray sand. You do see a light though, a fairly significant sized, not quite a bonfire, but a pretty significant sized campfire out in the distance in front of what looks to be like almost a lean-to. It's just a bunch of disparate bits of driftwood and plant life and branches that have been sort of hastily twined together out here on this beach. And a over like kind of beside the fire is a pot that's being heated kind of unevenly around the kind of stone circle that's around it, and you can see there's various different like what am I going to call them? Like wooden hangers that would normally be used by like trappers and fur traders and everything to skin and dry out furs, but they have little bits and bobs of animal and creature. And the first thing that you see in this is the hunched over form of a large kind of like a bigger bodied creature with long kind of drenched hair and gnarled kind of not quite right looking limbs that's sort of currently plucking the feathers from a bird that it had recently. It's like mid defeathering this bird as it's sort of hunched over. You don't really get a good look at it. It's kind of dressed in sort of like found cloths and maybe even a little bit of seaweed.
So it's a sea creature, man thing.
It's a humanoid sea creature. Honestly, because it's Yuri, I think Yuri would know what these are. Yuri, I think you would know what these are. It's a hag. It's a hag. You would know what a hag is.
Oh, yeah, they're unseelie. I would definitely know what that is.
You know what hag is. Yeah. So
yeah,
Yuri of
given
all
the
people,
low stealth as well, Yuri would literally turn to match my terrible stealth and just sprint high speed through the rock forest, just full on flailing.
yeah.
Flailing.
So yeah, and they hear you, but it's a hag. So they hear you, and they look around for a little bit, and they go back to their business at time. But yeah, there's a sea hag there on the beach taking parts of animals for its little things.
Oh my god.
As you kind of hustle back toward them, and do you just rejoin the group once you're on your hustle back? Do you get yourself all the way back to where everyone is?
Oh yeah, no, he fully sprints, flailing his arms the entire way back, and then it just like charges to the group, and basically whoever's nearest will just dive behind them and use them as like a human shield, basically.
We're gonna say it's Fang. Fang.
Nhudrel's just gonna like peer behind Fang at the Yuri and be like, "Is everything okay?"
Nope, 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 nope.
Do you want to
made soup.
talk about it?
Soup. Wait, soup? No. Okay, there's things happening, not soup. Yeah. So I need to go. Bye. I'm going now.
That's
Higgs
very
looks
abrupt.
up. Why do you need to go?
There's unseelie here, and I can't be here. They're going to kill me.
What kind of unseelie are here? Be specific.
Would I know what an unseelie is? I mean, I know what it is, like, myth-wise.
You as a player knows what it is. No, you wouldn't know the term for it. That term wouldn't be something that you would be familiar with.
Okay, me as a player, I know...
I'm not saying that that Nhudrel doesn't know what Yuri saw, or that there are kind of otherworldly nymph creatures. Just the word unseelie is not something that I think Nhudrel would have ever heard.
Okay.
Yeah, fair. I'm not even sure how much Hicks would know.
Hicks kind of knows it in the way that I think Hicks knows. I think Hicks knows Sealy Court, and so recognizes the root word, not the modifier, probably. And I was like, what kind of what did you see that scared you so much? I assume it has something to do with this, gesturing to the path that you traveled on and the soup that with the most recently killed animal that Fang has made.
Just casually sprinkling salt in there, like...
Yeah, because Hicks has been around for a few years on the material plane, so Hicks is a little bit more familiar with what is and is not expected here.
Yeah, Yuri's gonna do what he does best and ignore Hicks completely.
Yep.
And he's gonna just look at Nhudrel and Fang and goes, I was right. You know about the storm and the scary things. And I said, oh my god, this sounds like hag magic. It's hags. There was a hag, that ugly bitch. She was there. I saw her. She's out to kill me. She's here to kill me. They're all here to kill me. They're going to eat your baby. They do that. They eat babies. It's how they stay young. I know this. They're gonna steal your baby.
I don't have any.
He's
Hey, look,
doing that thing where he's like holding on to Fang's shoulder and kind of shaking her, like you don't want them to steal your baby.
Like I have no baby.
Well, if you
I
have one,
soup.
they'll take it. They might make baby. They do make baby soup. Actually, that is a thing they do.
Oh my word.
It's
Bring
just
some
really bad.
present.
I need to go. We need to. I just
Oh.
need to leave. We don't have this. We don't have the strength to take on a hag. I'm just telling you that now. You know, if we try to face it, we will die horribly. You know, they can control the weather, control the seas, and that's a sea hag, and we'll be right by the sea, which means they'll have like, you know, domain over the tides, which means they'll drown you horribly, but then you won't drown. You'll be trapped under the water forever.
Why is Hag going to kill you?
What? I hate to ask this. Did you do something?
Nothing. No, they're just evil.
At this point, with the word hag, I think Nhudrel, you're familiar with water. You're familiar with water-based, like creature humanoids that you would have called hags in your hometown. You don't know that that's what exactly what you saw, but the ones that you're familiar with, yeah, you know, they're bad, but they're not like they're. You need to be deliberate with them, but the whole controlling tides, controlling the sea thing—that's not something you're familiar. Like that's not the hags you dealt with. The whole like kidnapping and stealing children and stuff like that. In the way that lots of like extremely predatory creatures that are, in the case of hags, kind of semi-amphibious. We'll do that, yes, but like the ones you've dealt with are much more. They're intelligent, but they're not. They're not like. They're like dolphin smart, right? Where they're very they can speak, they have language, they can communicate with people, they have motivations and everything, but they don't organize into societies. And a well planned, like certainly it's been dealt with in your history where it's been like there's a hag there, we need to send people to go deal with it, and then a group of soldiers, usually not even like a full platoon or anything, just like a handful, goes and hunts down the hag and deals with the hag problem. So that's your familiarness with hags. Fang, you have no idea what a hag is, or like what like all of this is just whatever Yuri's saying must be true, because
Always.
they wouldn't be in your neighborhood.
And ask, like, are they attracted to light or fire?
So it depends on the hag. That's a water hag, so that's not gonna like fire or water. It's just going to like the water. But no, yeah. But just in general. Oh, also they can be a bit like me. They can be a bit sneaky with the illusions, and they can, you know, change how they look. So it's just really not safe here, and we should just.
We should leave.
Yeah, in the morning,
Okay.
maybe after soup. Well, no. Well, they're the one doing the collecting. Oh yeah, I should explain. I saw them collecting the body part.
Ah.
So they're
Why
going to be
do-
using it for bad rituals.
Oh, sounds bad.
Oh, they also hate all things beautiful, so of course they're going to kill me.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
It's very beautiful.
No, that's like an actual thing. They hate beauty. They just.
Nhudrel is also beautiful. Hicks is also.
See,
This
you're,
is
and
bad.
you're all going to die horribly unless we, you know, this is just, it's bad.
Just gonna cast a look at Hicks and be like,
I think they are the DM. I think I'm correct. Like can't remember all Phalor on the top of my. Water hags are like the weakest, aren't they? Of the hag.
You see, hags are they're the weakest.
Yeah.
They're definitely like I would absolutely play them as being more powerful in your realm versus in the material plane.
Yeah.
In the material plane, so like I would customize them. They're the weakest. They're not a joke of a creature, but they're considerably Yuri's version of this is a very bedtime story version of it, which is might indeed be accurate for the Fey realms and other planes, but here on the material plane, they are definitely the weakest. And Hicks, who's also familiar with like hag type creatures, like looks up and is like, they are dangerous, but so is a bear, a very big bear, or a pack of dire wolves.
Well, yes, but
Um,
hags can tend to have covens, and then if you upset the whole coven, you can have the powerful ones coming after you.
are there more than one?
No, but usually the sea hags do the dirty work, and then they go back to the coven.
Yeah. And Hicks kind of looks over at the group and is like, it is a dangerous creature, but simply that he is not wrong that it would try to kill all of us if we engaged with it. But we can also choose to engage with it and see what it's doing here. I am not familiar with a drain having a significant problem with these. So it is new to me.
They are generally dealt with as pests, as far as I can tell, and definitely perhaps not as powerful as the hags that Yuri seems to be familiar with.
There are more and less powerful hags. Yuri's comment on dirty work tracks. They are not all the same.
I will say to anyone with even basic insight, Yuri's looking more like he. You know when someone looks like they're about to erupt with stress and anxiety, like that
Yeah.
kind of like shaky, like that kind of face. It's that.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
Fang is gonna look to Yuri. Is it okay to stay here for now, or do we need to go now?
I mean, I don't know.
You
I
would
mean,
know that
Hicks
there's
is-
no way the sea hag is going to come this far. They're not going to. That it's in fact, actually, Yuri, roll me since you're in a survivability state. Roll me a either, and you can pick as the player, history, insight, survival, nature, some one of those checks, whatever your higher
oh my
skill
god, my
is.
rolls
History
today are awful. 11.
Oh
11.
no.
The one thing that you know about sea hags that doesn't quite gel with what you've experienced is you traveled for like you started seeing this sort of trail of animals um an hour or two back, right before you settled into camp, which implies that it's a fair distance. Sea hags usually don't go very far from bodies of water. They tend to stay
Oh
on
god, there is a
beaches or in
coffin.
swamps and everything. They tend to do that, and like one might traverse. You could see some like being like, okay, with trees on like a raining day or something like that. It might go a little bit afar, but normally you wouldn't expect them to go as far as you traveled back here. Like you'd be like, that's weird. They normally stay pretty located to where they are, and everything. And so you at least have that thought of just being like, it's a little weird that the animals started so far inland from the sea, and it makes sense
Oh
that they're coming
no.
up.
Oh no. Oh no. That's made a horrific realization. Okay.
What?
The sea hag is not. It didn't. You know how like things sometimes come from the sea,
Yes.
and it's a sea hag, and you think it would come from the sea. Yeah.
Yes.
This didn't come from the sea. This is come. It's teleported. That. Oh no. Okay, so no one can tell anyone where I am. No one can ever use my name ever. Thank you. They will. You can't let them find me.
What would you like us to call you then, if not Yuri?
You can call me Yuri, just not around other people.
What would you
Don't
like?
use the name. It's not that hard.
What would you like us to call you around other people then?
Well, why do you need to use my name so much?
That's a good question. I suppose that's just been the way I've been raised.
He
That's fair,
has
just-
other name. What was name?
Oh yeah,
used
Marv.
for
You could go with
fulfillment?
Marv. But okay. So there's this thing called the Unseelie, and basically, I'm from what you could call. So okay. So where I'm from, how to explain in your terms? Imagine two villages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One village likes good and beauty and happiness. And then the other one hates everything that they like. And they will do anything to destroy the good that they do. Yeah?
And you are from...
The good place.
Oh,
And
okay.
they are from the bad. And if they've teleported here, they potentially are looking for me.
Are you
They like to hunt
famous?
us. No, no one knows me. They just like to, I don't know, if they learn that a fae is in the area, they will do bad things.
Okay, in that case,
They might make me a tree.
We'll do our best that you don't get turned into a tree. Would it better for us to move and find another place to camp, Yuri?
Well, I don't think they're coming back this way. The point is, though, they teleported here, which means a rift to somewhere has opened. And by somewhere, probably the Feywards. But I came through. But they couldn't have come through the same one. That closed behind me, I think. Did I jack? Did I leave the door open?
Fuck! Did I lock it behind me when I left? God damn it!
No, but they wouldn't have been able to. No, they wouldn't have been able to come from where I came from. No, that would be impossible. Yeah, no, they've come from somewhere else, and they've arrived the same day as me, or the day after me. I don't remember how
A
time works.
gatekeeper would have never allowed for a hag to
Yeah,
come from where
yeah, not from
you
Did
where I
I
are.
am.
leave
They
the
wouldn't. They wouldn't have
door
been able to
open?
get where I came from anyway, because I come from elsewhere.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah. So that's really strange that they teleported here
Uh-huh.
within the same period that I've come here. But yeah, they've headed to the sea. And Hicks also said there's not been a hack problem here, so they are fresh arrivals, and that means someone has summoned them, Coven has summoned them, or things are bad, and I'm gonna die.
We will do our best that you do not die.
Thanks.
I think perhaps we should move camp. If
I
only
really
for
don't
you.
think they're gonna come back here.
You
Like, if you're traveling
seem
tired.
incredibly stressed, Yuri.
Oh, I am.
Then I think we should move camp.
I mean, okay, if you want, we can move more inland. The further away from the sea, the safer. Which I'm really sorry, because I know you like the sea, but I don't want to die.
I like the sea, but I like you being alive and less stressed more.
Ah.
All right. Do y'all douse camp and then move it inward a little bit?
Yep, with the
Takes
soup.
about an hour and a half, hour and a half. Not significant and everything. You move further inland, maybe a little bit more tucked into like a small grove of trees that's a little bit more
God.
obscured.
God said night was still early, so we got time to move camp.
Yeah, you got time for camp move. Doesn't take much work to do it. Give me a perception check, Nhudrel and Fang, and Yuri do one with disadvantage.
Oop.
Oh no.
God fucking damn it.
13.
7.
Oh, I got a 15.
I
With
got some.
disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Sure.
Yuri, you notice the teardown and setup of camp, you notice that Hicks just keeps looking off in the direction of I'm not going to betray the character, so you can't get a read on their face, but you can see what direction they're looking in. They just occasionally keep looking off in the direction of where you came. They don't do anything about that. They're just looking.
From what? Sorry, you cut out for a sec.
Sorry, Hicks keeps looking off in the direction of the sea, the direction that you came from. They don't do anything about it. They're just looking there, and then they'll go back to resetting up camp and getting themselves settled, and then they'll look back toward the sea, and then go back to reviewing the journals you gave them.
I am not as apt in reading Hicks' face.
To be fair, I don't know if Yuri would even ask anything. He wants to leave, so yeah, I don't think he'd say anything for now. He is more focused on wanting to leave.
You all reset up camp just fine. There's no creatures or monsters or anything like that come by. No beasts of significant size. The occasional bird or squirrel or small creature, but like nothing significant. Or to be worried about. Yuri and Hicks only need 4 hours of trance time. Do Nhudrel and Fang both need a full 8 hours of rest?
Nhudrel definitely does. Needs to sleep.
Yeah, Fang does too.
Yep.
Yeah, Fang. Yeah, both of you should.
I will have my trance at the opposite time to when Hicks does, so someone's always on watch.
Exactly. And
we have big people that need sleep.
Yeah.
You guys. Well, it's quite nice because you got 2 elves, so you can always literally have one elf have full sleep, the other take watch, and you guys.
So because of Yuri's amped up state, Hicks just says, "I will trance now, and then after you've had time to calm down, when I wake up, you can rest." And Hicks goes almost instantly into a trance. No wait, no pause. It's just like decides. If they were a human being, they're like, sleep now, and then they just sleep. They're like me, where they just decide to sleep and then go unconscious.
That is a superpower I wish to have.
It's a very good
alarmed.
superpower.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's
I didn't say that. That was just.
But yeah, he's dead.
Okay, I think I'm just.
She'll feel that way. She'll definitely feel that way.
I just love the image of Nhudrel sleeping on one side of him, Fang sleeping on the other, just sort of like sandwiching him.
Yeah. But yeah. So no perception checks needed. You've already moved camp inside. Yuri, nothing happens while you're awake. And everything. Hicks wakes up after 4 hours and sort of like. If you can rest, you should rest fully. And then like appropriately fits their equipment, is playing with the knife that does damage and instantly heals a little bit. And as like I will watch, and kind of keeps an eye out for things. And I am going to need to roll something.
Oh great. Love.
Does Yuri actually go in fully trance, or after once Hicks is up and ready to take the second nap? Just making sure.
I love hearing that.
Too wound up. Let's do a roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do this. That's a nat 20. That is a nat 20.
What are you rolling there, buddy?
Don't worry about it.
Robbed.
You're not. All of you. The dawn comes. The dawn comes. You can hear birds chirping in the morning. The typical noises of dawn. You're pretty tucked away out in the sparse woods, so you're not hearing any other noises that you wouldn't naturally hear, or waking up just amongst nature. It's quite pleasant. Sun's coming out. the south is still covered in darkness, but the rest of the world is experiencing sort of the normal warm light of day. And with Yuri coming out of a trance and maybe Nhudrel or Fang or both, um, immediately Hicks is nowhere to be found.
Oh, the cunt.
Wait, did
Oh, well,
Hicks
rip Hicks.
leave us unguarded?
You don't
What
know.
is with people leaving us unguarded?
I don't know. I don't know why this keeps happening to us. That was the last time I
Thanks,
Getting
mate.
sleep.
abandonment
That's
issues.
gonna be
Well,
the
we're
last
gonna
time
get
I
a new
sleep
friend.
for...
We don't need him anymore.
Fang is alarmed. She's gonna start investigating, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looking
Looking
for
around?
his tracks.
Survival or investigate or perception.
Yuri, I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Do you have...
Oh, that's really bad. She has no fucking clue.
Do you have,
Yeah.
do you know much about the people like Hicks?
Yeah.
Would they usually just leave?
Mm-hmm. I mean, their loyalty is never trusted. That's the thing about him. Like, he has an oath of loyalty, which is not to us, and he can never ignore it. So no matter how much you think you trust him, he will do anything. Even if he gets told by his boss to torture you, he will do it within a heartbeat. That is who he is. You know, it's not his fault. His soul is woven to it. Oh, they do torture. That is a thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
I do remember his fascination with the blade.
Mhm. They can never be trusted.
I
But nor
think
can I. So
I think for my own sanity, I'm going to just try find him. Make sure that he's okay.
well, he was looking towards the sea, so he's probably gone to investigate the hag. So
When was this?
last night when we were packing up to leave, I thought he was just keeping a watch.
Alright, I think I will go, and if I'm not back...
No, that's stupid. Don't be stupid. We've already had one person go off alone, you know. In the nicest way, you're not as immune to certain
Was that
magic.
a nat one, by the way, on your survival
It
check,
was.
Reia?
It was a nat one.
So, funnily enough, while you're having this conversation, you suddenly, about 150 feet away from camp, you suddenly hear a large creak of wood and and then a yelp from Fang.
Oh no!
Fang,
Oh, oh
and
no.
you can see Fang's body upside down
Oh no!
as they fell upon one of Hicks's traps that they prepared relatively quickly. That on a DC 10, they would have easily seen that Hicks has wired up the whole area to prevent any wildlife from easily getting in. But with a nat one, Fang just instantly gets caught up in one. Fang, no harm, no hit point damage. You're just hanging upside down by a foot from a particularly
Yuri's gonna
durable
point.
branch.
Yuri's gonna point at that and say, "See, he can't be trusted. Look what he just did to Fang.
I...
Look
It's
what he just did to her. That was for me. I bet you that was
and
for me."
hanging.
What?
Like it's just perturbed and hanging. Like I fit. This is strange.
Fang, let me help you get down. I'm just gonna get her down from that.
With you being aware that there's traps there, what you see is several thin lines of different pathways of essentially, for lack of a better term, tripwires, including several things that were hanging up that if they got disturbed too much, would just rattle a bunch of noise as they sort of loosely strung together some sort of basic alarms and various traps. You can even see that there's one where if you had triggered it, it would have just like dropped dropped a particularly heavy and roughly severed branch onto things, but like lots of little inconveniences that would cause enough noise to wake most people up.
I'm going to go and set off every single one of them carefully.
You do. Nothing too brutal. It's all very slapdash, with what was convenient in the area, but definitely, it looks like they had a pretty good perimeter. Probably a good solid 2 hours of work
Mhm.
of someone who's very good at this, setting up very simple and straightforward traps, mostly meant for wildlife to trigger.
Yep.
Maybe Yuri.
I don't
Maybe.
think this was meant for us.
It doesn't matter, because now we have to go find him, so I'm just going to be hunted for us, so yay.
Well, that's why I said perhaps you and Fang should
No,
stay here and...
No, because then that's my fault that you've been hurt, and that's not okay.
It's not your fault. I am choosing to do it.
It would be
Yeah.
Hicks's fault.
Well, yeah, no, it's Hicks's fault, and I think we should just, do something to make him feel bad about what he's done. But I can't think of anything at the moment. So I'll think on that later. I think it's going to involve me illusioning ravens and making him scared that he's failed his boss, and then he's going to be terrified and poop himself, and it'll be hilarious. But anyway, we need to go find him so that I can tell him off.
Well, I can see I'm not going to be able to change your mind.
Nope.
Alright then, let's go find our missing person. What sort?
If we run into any lone figure in the woods or near the sea, don't trust them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go try see if I can find, aside from the tracks and the traps, if there is which direction
Doesn't take you long. You find that like the suspicion Yuri mentioning that they were looking toward the sea and everything, they went back in the direction that Yuri came from, to investigate the hag. Doesn't take you long to do that. Do you pursue that course knowing that it's headed right toward the sea hag?
Oh yeah. I pursue that course knowing it's going to lead straight to Hicks.
The three of you make your way slowly there. Yuri, probably about, I don't know, like maybe like 20, 30 meters back from where you caught Glimpse, or where you caught Glimpse and ended up pivoting and running and sprinting a little bit further back, as you get closer and closer to this place. So you know where this location is, but around the three of you, hearing that, you all hear, you didn't have to come follow me. And it's from up in the trees.
I would like to shoot an arrow at his foot.
Do it. Disadvantage though, because you don't exactly know where he is.
I would like to
But
shoot.
you know roughly
Fang's
the
alarmed.
direction.
That was an wait.
Oh,
Oh, right,
wow.
disadvantage. Okay, that was an 11.
Yeah. So obviously it swings, or obviously it misses. and
I would roll
nice
to
try.
I would like to roll to smack Yuri upside the back of his head.
Nice try. I was
That's
just
half
trying
my
to
health. Fuck off.
So,
Yuri actually does look mad though. Like that's not a playful mad. That just looks like
yeah.
he is fuming, and like
Mhm.
unlike before when you saw him get like these weird frosted eyes, if you
Mhm.
like looked at his eyes at this moment, it was just gold. There was no iris, nothing. It was just gold.
Oof, he proper mad.
I came to observe what Yuri was talking about. I have not been spotted. In fact, I've barely seen it, as it is the daytime now. I don't think it prefers early mornings.
Great, I'm really
Staying
glad
in
we've
the
learnt
tree.
this information, Hicks. That's so helpful. You're such a good scout. Now we've learnt they're not morning people. Brilliant. That's really made, the take of the century. We're going to write a whole book about it. About hags are not morning people. Better get them a cup of coffee.
I'm simply stating that
Are you?
if we were,
Are you I'm going more. My British accent's going more Cockney than what angry I get. I need to try and not. This is not going to go well.
Yuri goes Cockney when he's mad.
Listen here, you little fuck.
uh,
Fucking have you. No.
but I'm simply stating that if we were going to investigate and possibly address this problem, now would be an optimal time.
Do you know what the
Or-
problem is? The problem is we're still near them when we were going to leave. But now that we're in the vicinity of the problem, it's a problem again.
I mean, we can
Wait,
just
is
go.
this
Well, that's
actually
what we were going to do. Yes, and then you just walked up and acted like a dingleberg.
What did you
Apparently,
say?
They swear.
What did you say, Fang?
That was-
No, is this actually Hicks though?
I've described it as a voice from the trees that you haven't seen. What did you say? So you're saying, is it actually Hicks? Fang, give me a perception check.
Time for a sniff check.
Fang, did you say that out loud?
No. Oh,
No,
shit.
Reia.
Oh,
Reia,
Yuri's gonna be
Reia.
so mad if he
Oh,
can't. Can I do as I am like yelling at them? Am I able to see them at all at this point?
Nope. You know roughly where the voice is
Oh,
coming
no.
from, but you do not see them in the trees.
That's a 2 plus 3 is a
I'm gonna
5.
shoot them again.
Oh my god.
Go for it.
I'm gonna sniff again.
Oh, I need to do that with
Sniffer's not
disadvantage,
gonna
don't
quit.
I?
Ooh.
Yeah, because you can't. You
Oh,
can't see
damn
your
it! That was
target.
a 10.
So perhaps it's the second shot, the attempted sniffing, or the argument, or the fact that you're being obstinate, Yuri. But beside you, not to hit you, but beside you, a proof of I'm just letting that happen. I wish I was so duplicitous of a GM to have prepped them, but that's not how Sea Hag's illusions work. They don't get to be perfect impersonations of people like Yuri does. And so I wish I could yes and that. Oh, it's actually secretly a monster. It's not. You see a little burst of the Eldritch Blast that you're familiar with, Hicks, kind of about 5-10 feet off to the side of Yuri, and everything. Stop shooting at me, and then they come down from the trees.
Stop shooting at me.
You're bad at it.
I would like to punch him.
All right. Okay.
this-
now that
this
you
is
can
gonna
see
be
him,
amusing.
unarmed attack.
Yeah.
Can I-
Well, okay. Well, that's a 13.
Can I use my reactions just like be in between them?
I mean, you can. We can say that that's why it doesn't land.
To be
Nhudrel,
fair,
you
as we can see, my damage would be 0, so there is not much
literally
my
no
punch
harm
will
for
do.
it.
I do
Yeah.
not have any. I have minus strength.
I'm
My
just-
punch will not do shit.
I'm just gonna use my big chest as a literal flesh shield.
You're gonna
between
have
you
like the
two.
whole force of the punch hit your chest, and then you're gonna look down and be like, "Wait, what the fuck? That was like nothing." As you basically just get punched by like it was like a light breeze of air, and that was his full force punch.
Just gonna be like, I might not be the best person, but perhaps we should take some time to work on your posture and your punching
What?
technique, Yuri.
Fang's gonna sniff again.
It's definitely Hicks.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 100% Hicks. It doesn't matter.
I love
Yuri is absolutely fuming now. He is just silently seething as his posture
Yeah.
has been called into question.
I love the idea of Fang just going up to Hicks and just sniffing continuously until she's sure that this is it.
oh yeah. Well, because Yuri said don't trust them, like if and they're close to the sea. So Fang is gonna pull it all the
Yeah,
stuff.
so if they-
like, oh,
and-
Hicks is like vicinity, sniffing him, just
Uh-huh.
making sure it smells like the spring water that he
This
is.
thought never comes to Yuri, especially once you see Hicks, because as much as I'm sure Yuri wouldn't consciously think it, Hicks is far too pretty for a sea hag to ever emulate as a thing. Hicks is too beautiful of a boy to do it.
Hicks is very pretty.
Yeah, Hicks is so pretty, and but Fang and Nhudrel don't really 100% know this, but you saw the Eldritch Blast. They're acting like that, and Hicks just looks at you all and is like, "If you want to leave, we can leave, or if Yuri is right, maybe they're connected to the rift somehow."
Well, yeah, probably, but
But
so.
We
Do
can
you
get
think it's
answers.
going to be less scary at the rift?
Oh.
And this is like a Yuri's anger kind of fades, and I guess it's like the biggest most childish fucking puppy dog eyes. My mum and dad told me not to go near on Sealy.
oh baby,
He's
baby,
literally just been told by his parents. He's like, but I'm not to.
baby.
If it's so hard for me to play characters that are not emotionally responsive.
That's fine. I mean, the other two can respond instead.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yuri,
just stares at you. Hicks just stares.
Things like, we can get answers elsewhere from not so dangerous sources. And if they're worse, we can come back.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, the logic is solid. It's a
The
weird
logic
thing
is-
in D&D of being
Yeah.
like, here's a challenge. We're gonna go and check the other thing, and if that's bad, it's like you're playing it like a Metroidvania. You're just like, oh nope, not here yet. Let's go back to that other area I was less excited about, but
Fang,
I'm more willing to deal with.
Fang, we don't know for sure that this will still be here afterwards.
I will sniff for them.
But
Oh, shit.
if you come back,
Mhm.
they would have, made a home, or there may be a bigger chance of a coven. They get more dangerous the longer they're cemented in an area.
It's better if we deal with them now, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but
But
I know what they can do, and it's bad, and
I am pretty sure they won't be as bad here.
that's not the point. The point is you may think, oh, this is one. Oh my god, that was really bad. I almost mispronounced tag.
What were you going to mispronounce it?
There's not a lot of net letters you can get wrong in
Did you
that
not hear me
word.
go? Did you not hear me go?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah.
There's
It's one of them
so
there.
many letters in the word hag that you can change.
I found this coloured handkerchief.
It's just the idea of that
I saw that
sentence.
I saw that its one ear was pierced. And just the one,
It
you know
was
the one that I'm
the
talking
left
about.
ear that is pierced. It's just the one ear. So
Yeah. But I can't remember what I was talking
they get
about.
the more dangerous,
Right.
the more cemented they are in one
Okay.
place.
But yeah,
My
it's like, go on.
I want a
Okay.
coven now.
No, you don't.
I want a
No.
gay coven.
No, I don't know. Just go make friends. Sorry. I mean, it's actually like,
That's
how else are you
That's
going to
the
do
end
it?
of the stream. Okay,
How
then
else are
bye.
you
It was
gonna do
great
it?
talking to you guys. I'm off to go make friends.
What you do? You can't just do it without them. Like, you can't be like, oh, this is my coven now, and just sit on a chair by yourself. You need to go, network.
You do have to socialize.
Fine, use LinkedIn.
Use LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I'm so glad you use LinkedIn and not Grindr, so I appreciate you for that.
No, that's fine. I wouldn't suggest such a thing. You're not going to find much luck there anyway. You'll turn up to your first event. No one else will turn up.
Oh. That's happened for a birthday or two.
Oh, you made it too sad.
Let's go back to the fantasy world where we're deciding
Yeah.
if we're going to confront this gnarled old creature.
Yeah. Hey, how dare you? Don't talk about them like that. What was I on about? I've lost my train of thought multiple times. I'm not gonna
Higgs
lie.
basically just told Yuri, "I'm pretty sure that it's less. They're less dangerous here."
Yeah, and
Yuri was like, "Yeah, you're thinking just like one though."
Right. Oh god. Okay, I have to get back into Yuri's voice now. Jesus. Yuri's like, right. Okay.
you were talking to us about hags.
We're never gonna be able to hear that word again. Oh yeah. So like, oh my god, no, my voice. No, I need to not do that. Oh, I just the idea. Yuri is from Love Island now at this point.
I mean,
I'm just looking
kind
for
of.
good banter, and they don't have good bants. So like, it just. I don't feel like we're gonna match. I've never watched Love Island. I don't know what they say. but okay. Anyway,
Oh my god.
back to the point. The point being, I'm just gonna say I can't. Okay. Right.
So, Yuri.
Point being, yeah, that's me.
Yes, that is you. Yuri, you've said as much that they get worse if we leave them in one spot.
Yeah, but the worst thing is like, okay, my concern isn't facing maybe the hag by itself.
Mhm.
That's not the worry. The worry is if somehow they get away or they send a message, they alert the really dangerous people. It's like, if you imagine you've got like, what's a mortal boring equivalent? An assassin. You've got a single assassin by yourself, 5 of us, 4 of us, I can count. You can probably take them, and it's fine. But if they escape and then tell whoever's hired them, you've got 30 more assassins coming after you. It's the situation we're in.
So, what I understand from this situation is that we should go take care of this, and you stay out of sight and safe.
I guess so.
Well, then I guess that is what we need to do.
Can
I
they
guess I
sniff
can try and
through your
stay nearby.
disguise?
Yeah, is Yuri concerned that they can see through your illusions?
Probably. I mean,
Yuri,
You did. I think it's the key that you don't know. You know this is that this is a sea hag, like it's a water based hag, but you
well, it's the
really
thing of
don't know what it can and can't do here, and how powerful this sea hag is, because there are ones
yeah,
from where
but it's
you're
also
from that
like
are much more dangerous.
tricking a fae in general has a lot harder than anything else.
Yuri,
Mm-hmm.
it has not bothered you before to leave us three alone while you go off to do something else. So why does it bother you so much that we're going to do this now without you?
Because, yeah, but like before, like nothing else was my fault or had anything to do with me, Like, I don't know why this is, still the accent that's going, but it's fine. What was I on about? Oh yeah, like the humans like messing everything up and being stupid. That wasn't my fault. But potentially unseelie Fae being sent here to cause havoc on the day after we've opened. Oh no. If Hicks said a planar portals are really rare here, and they have not happened in a long time, they probably noticed that one opened yesterday. Oh yeah, so this is probably my fault. Which is why then I have to be accountable for things that are my fault. Or my presence has done.
Is that how it works for you?
I guess. I like to be responsible for my...
Okay.
You know, if
That's
something
fair.
affects people and it has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with me. But this has something to do with me.
That makes sense.
That does.
Yeah.
But you also can't take responsibility for what we choose to do.
Well, not if I just tell you to do otherwise.
But you can't really. I mean, you can, but we are at our rights to choose to do and or not do, as you say.
We should be
True.
sneaky.
Yeah, he's
Fang,
really good at
Let's go.
sneaking.
Fang,
Let's go be sneaky.
Fang, that is, that might just be my weak point.
You need to channel Hicks. Be Hicks.
I
Be
am
Yuri.
nothing like that beautiful man.
You are
either
also
of
beautiful
them.
man.
Yes, but I can't quiet like they do. I'm quite loud, sort of like jiggles up and down so his armor like clangs.
He like calls him, don't do that.
You know,
Don't just Harlem shake your way to the fucking combat. Just
so what
fucking...
we call
Right.
that is you would make a good distraction. Let the other two sneak, and then you just do your jingly
This
jing.
is just that one scene of Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah. Okay, I suppose that is what we need to do. I will just be a distraction, I suppose. Is that the plan?
Yes, smaller distraction.
I get that things
Well,
attention.
why don't you let them sneak fast, and if they look like they're about to be caught, then start distracting. Don't start running in to the Also, can you all swim?
Yes.
You're asking the frog if he can swim?
Can you swim? Can you swim in that though?
In what?
A point to Nhudrel's armor.
I don't need to swim. I just breathe underwater.
Okay, but then how are you going to get out?
But yes,
I like how Fang's like, what? And you're just like, yeah, okay.
But yes,
Yuri's like, of course you can breathe underwater. That's normal. But like,
but yes, I can swim in this.
Oh. Okay. Well. Yeah. So let the other two do the thing, and if she starts to be like, bah!
I'm very strong. I can
Okay.
carry this and wear this and carry you and swim at the same time. If
Why
I
were
need
you
to.
carrying me? Am I going on your shoulders?
If you insist.
What if I disguise myself as you, and then I go on your shoulders, and then it's double you? That would be really distracting.
That would be very distracting.
That, by the way, that's probably about because I mean I don't know how tall Yuri could get it, but that's
Yeah,
at
no, I
least,
can't be that tall.
Yeah, but that's at least.
Well, no, I
sitting on
can, but
shoulder.
like I can, but it will be like I can seem 1 foot shorter, so I can be 6'5".
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's
That'd
at
be a
least
mini
that's
you.
a solid 12 feet or so of height with one person, like 11 and a half to 12 feet, so 4 meters.
And then we
right,
go
of,
ooga booga.
of height.
Or we
What are you
Okay.
thinking with that head of yours?
Well, they hate no, they hate beautiful things. So, you could make a trap because
Of
you're beautiful.
myself?
Well, yeah, because you're, to these mortal people in their standards, you are conventionally attractive. So I could zhuzh you
thank
up
you.
a bit, and then you could flop on the floor like a mermaid.
I've never seen a mermaid, so I do not know how they flop. Nor do I
You've
think
You've
that's
seen a
very
mermaid.
aesthetic.
You've seen a mermaid. There's no way you haven't interacted with merfolk.
Does not know what
I've-
it is.
I've never seen a mermaid flop.
I will, even though you're
Mermaids
stood up, it's
be
going to look
flopping.
really... So it will just look like you're...
flopping.
It will look like you're just stood there on the tail, but I will minor illusion a tail onto you.
Yeah.
Please do not do that.
Why?
This is very
It
disconcerting.
would be funny.
It would.
I'm sorry. Am I to understand that you want me to flop into view pretending I have a tail?
No, this is
This
a
would-
really bad idea.
This would amuse me.
I want to say yes, but it would be really stupid.
So
I think
Hicks
the best
looks,
option to do is just have the other two sneak up, and when if she starts to look towards them, you can be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm blue," and that's what you should yell.
I feel
Exactly.
And she
like
can
those
wonder why
words.
you're sad.
I feel like I should
Yeah.
be offended by this.
It's okay. She's also blue.
Um,
I think.
Well, she is also
uh,
sad.
it's an uglier blue, but it's
You
still
have no
blue.
idea. Yeah, they're an
it's a-
ugly
it-
blue,
it's-
not like you.
it's a
You're a
bloated
beautiful blue.
It's a patchy, bloated sea corpse blue, not like a
So
pristine
she's really sad.
skincare blue.
She's
blue.
really
Um,
sad.
She ate gluten
Hicks-
and got that bloat.
Hicks is like,
Depressed.
I believe we should.
Okay.
Fang and I stealth up. I agree with Nhudrel. Nhudrel, you can wait in the wings, and if we are in concern of being caught or things become dangerous, you can then act as another point of distraction that will possibly benefit us. Yuri, you can do whatever you want. Hide.
I always do.
Don't hide. Yes.
Just gonna
Um,
very look Yuri in the eye and just no tail.
Hmm?
No tail.
You know what? I do believe in all of you. And just remember, if you fail, I'll just have the same fate of my brother, where my mind just becomes a little bit broken and I'm eternally sad. And then with that inspirational speech, I give you all bardic inspiration for your message.
Oh my
So then you feel a little like, like a little tingle.
AKA no pressure. Jeez.
Yeah, basically,
Alright.
yeah. So you all have a bardic die, and that includes Hicks.
Hicks.
But yeah, no pressure. If you fail, my life is over.
So, with that, Fang, would you like to roll me a stealth check? I'll use your and my Hicks stealth checks to inform
I am listening.
the sneak portion.
My roll was so. Oh, I rolled decent. Wait, no, it's 18. Okay,
Heck yeah.
That's pretty good.
I
Um,
like saw it upside down, so I thought it was a 19.
Uh,
16 plus 2, 18.
Still good.
17 from Hicks. Fang and Hicks and Nhudrel, you can see this kind of in the distance, but eventually it's going to be Fang and Hicks. But Fang and Hicks, you creep down, transitioning from the earth and the trees to the kind of gray, sort of dull sand of the Wounding Sea. The beach is quiet. You don't currently see anything in either direction, and it looks pretty empty going along the kind of going along the beach line, sort of pseudo north and south. It'd be north and south where you currently are. It looks pretty empty. This looks like the only thing you can see. Off in the distance, you can see a little island that's probably like an hour dinghy boat ride away, where the old capital of this area was. But otherwise, it's pretty open and it's unremarkable. And as you get closer and closer, Fang, to the this sort of shanty, Fang, the smell is bad.
Ew.
It's So, obviously different creatures have different like cleaning rhythms. This this hag has no behavior like a normal animal. It doesn't separate itself particularly distantly from its waist. It doesn't seem concerned with hygiene.
Oof.
It smells stale and sour and old and wretched, and you can smell it from outside of this shanty as you
Oh, great.
approach it. It is repugnant. You have a feeling that if you had happened to come across almost any creature that didn't outsize you that smelled like this, you'd almost kill it to put it out of its misery. Normally.
Ooh.
Um,
Me at the vets, honestly.
yeah, I know you've experienced this at vets, where it's just like, oh
Yeah.
no. But
They're too stanky. Something's probably wrong.
Uh-huh.
uh, uh, both of you are creeping up to what is essentially like a 10 by 10, like a shed shape. It's not big. It's about 3 meters by 3 meters.
So my room.
Yeah, essentially. Is the entirety of this, and it has like one little kind of halfway like hole entryway with a sour, dirty, worn uh, 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 bit of cloth acting as a pseudo doorway to prevent the light in. And as you get closer and closer, you can hear the sounds of just snoring and sleep noises. Sleep noises. How do you want to approach this thing?
Fang is gonna turn around and signal back to, Hicks, Nhudrel, and Yuri. She's gonna just do signals of like pointing to the shed and sleep.
Okay.
Yuri's gonna violently gesture, stabbing her while she's asleep.
Fang's gonna give a thumbs up.
No,
proceed.
no, stop.
Fang, do you creep into the mouth of the shed?
Oh,
Are there
no.
windows?
Nope. There is one hole in this thing. This is a single hole shed.
She's gonna peek into it.
Peeking in, you see it's thick in here with the stench. What looks like a version of a chamber pot, not good. And a pile of rotting furs and moth-eaten blankets, and
How
again,
did they get
random
so
bits of
gross
cloth.
in like 2 days? This is
They
impressive.
came gross. This is their vacation luggage. Rotting furs. And you see this kind of lump of what would be the ugliest old human you'd ever seen. Just like knobby, swollen joints on fingers and knuckles. Uh, uh, Hair unwashed with little bits of kelp in it. A little bit of kelp, wet, because they're always wet as sea hags. They're always just wet. Um, uh, uh, Gray blue, just sickly, like sallow skin that's semi-translucent, so you can see some rough veining on it on an exposed forearm, and they are fully asleep.
Fang's gonna look to Hicks. Because there's no way she's gonna be able to function in that shed. Because the stench is just really bad, and she's got heightened smell.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna look to Hicks and be like, "Can you set up a trap here?" And like points to the front of the door.
Hicks, like quietly, like considers what he has on him, and then just nods.
You set up a trap. Bring out Hag. You can and we get answers. Yes? Good?
Just nods.
Okay. She's gonna help him set up a trap in front of the hag house.
Give me a survival check with advantage because Hicks is there with you.
Survival check with advantage. I need my light clicky. Do that. $15.
Ooh.
All right. Trap is set up. Again, it would be better if you had more time and knew that you were going to be trapping something, but it will definitely finagle the hag if it's not paying attention. And and then Hicks just sort of points at you, Fang, and then like shakes his hands and then points at his ear, points at that, gesturing, implying that you should make a noise or something to awaken this hag.
Shake Nhudrel up and down.
Oh yeah, she could signal Nhudrel to start jumping.
Yep.
To be fair, that because you guys can stay hidden and get the jump from behind then if Nhudrel actually makes the distraction instead of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's a lot of advantage there.
Do you actually
Fang's
do
gonna-
that?
Yeah, Fang's gonna signal to Hicks to signal that they should go on either side. And then points towards Nhudrel. And she does the shaking motion.
The Harlem Shake. It's the Harlem Shake. It's what's happening.
Yeah. So she's gonna go get in position and look to Nhudrel. And then start trying to get him to jump.
I don't think it takes you long to understand what they're doing. They're
No.
obviously positioning themselves out of the sight.
Yep. No, he sees that. He understood that. He wished he didn't, but he does.
What could go wrong?
It's just a sea hag, and I'm sure nothing else. Nothing else at all. It's just a one lonely sea hag.
Just see
Look, I told these people to turn around. You guys.
Nhudrel just
Yeah,
very awkwardly.
you did, and I, as a GM, would have been 100. I would have been like, "Yeah, that's a fair play. They don't have to do this."
You
I just
led
keep
Hicks
dangling
there.
Yeah, no,
And
you
Hicks
did.
told you could walk away again, and you chose to investigate it.
So Nhudrel's just going to, looking like he was in actual physical pain, take sort of one step but the other, but every step is very exaggerated to make the ultimate clanging noises he could, and he's just following the sort of going, just someone walking here
Give me a
completely.
Wow.
instead of a performance check, because
Oh.
of course you can make noise. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please. Neutral. I'm not going to punish you mechanically. for
I'm going to
this.
use prestige on them to make their clanking even louder, though, and their
Oh,
voice.
yeah. Yeah, this will work either way. I just want to flavor that narrative.
So that's a 7.
So your shaking and voice and everything gets a little bit louder, and it would be enough by itself. But
God.
in this armor on land and trying very deliberately to step, you end up slipping on a bit of loose sand and sort of tumbling a little bit, clattering
Oh,
like a dropped
no.
bag of pots and pans, loudly, so loudly with the prestidigitation, so loud. And that definitely would wake the dead. You pop up. I'm not punishing you for this or anything. This is just for flavor.
Nhudrel's
I just wanted
like,
you to be a klutz again.
Nhudrel's just covering his. You have way too much having a -1 dex person in your party. You are having
Hey, I'm
way
not
too much
mechanically
fun.
penalizing you. I'm
To
just
be fair,
flavoring
like, this is the reason why nearly no one ever dumps decks, because it's such a dangerous thing to dump.
It's
Yeah,
so
but
dangerous.
I haven't been
love it.
able to, like, it's not even like me rolling and Dex fucking me in the ass. No, this is Game Mommy going, you're doing a thing?
Hey, you rolled and got a
this.
7.
Roll this.
Every time I've asked you to roll a deck save, you've gotten a sub 10. That's the dice telling you who your character is.
He's never meant to be graceful, this guy. He's just one big
Exactly.
himbo.
So
He's a
Nhudrel
smart
just
himbo.
tumbles down, tumbles a little bit, and yeah, you do manage to cover, and you all hear the rousing of this sea hag, and I will have you all roll initiative, but
Oh,
the
great.
next time we meet. Conveniently lining this up. I didn't expect this to take as long as it did for this one, but it's the one that you got on the list, and it was kind of perfect. It was kind of perfect.
Yeah.
But we will stop the session here, and next session that we get together, which will not be next week, but the week after, we will all be back. We'll have our lovely Yama back to pilot Hicks appropriately. Much easier for me to play shy, quiet, sweetheart Fang, than it is for me to play Hicks. But nonetheless, we will be back. But until then, yeah, we'll be back. We'll be rolling initiative. You'll all be doing it as level 3 characters. I'm sure nothing will go wrong with this sea hag, and Yuri's
Probably
concerns
don't.
were completely unwarranted. Entirely.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
How do you want to exit the stream? How do you want to exit the stream, Jack?
I'm just gonna throw you at a fellow geek, Mama Summer, and we're just gonna end it here with
Bless you.
Come see Jack and I in like 2 hours, 2.5, roughly 2 to 2.5 hours over on Beggar Street.
Yep. Where I get to play a little Asian man with a flamethrower, which I'm pretty excited for. So, totally no drama happening this session. None.
No drama at
whatsoever.
all in our Monster of the Week game.
No. Might murder each other. No drama. Anyway, thank
It's
you
fine.
for playing. Thank you for being here. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.